we waited a week afterwards because something happened in the Penguin that kind of actually mirrors what happened in the finale of his show. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
My friend Paige was really excited about this, so I'm curious what her
Which-
reaction was. How?
Which one?
Penguin?
Ah, okay. The show or the comic?
The show.
Ah, okay. Oh,
I forgot.
So yeah, when did you want me to send a PNG of my signature, Jake?
Oh, you can do that tonight. I'm just gonna.
Okay. I'll send it to you in like the next couple minutes.
mhm.
The next couple what?
Next couple minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. I thought you said
Okay.
weeks. I was like, for a signature?
Yeah. No,
Gotcha.
you're gonna have to wait a few
Oh.
weeks, buddy.
Oh.
That's like 10 seconds.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way, Jake. So what's going to happen with the last episode, man?
What?
Yesterday's episode, because remember, we've it turns out like our last episode stops at like the hour and 8-minute mark.
Okay, so I've just been very busy because I've been trying to finish everything up, this job stuff. I have to download it and then which I can do from StreamYard. I can download it and then from StreamYard re-upload it as a separate video. Which to be fair, I guess I could do that from now on for all the videos. So we have a live and we have like the YouTube version. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Honestly, like on StreamYard, if you look at the StreamYard version of the video, it goes to the 2 hours. But for some reason on YouTube, it's only the 1 hour 16, which is like weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, so much for all your fancy bells and whistles. This didn't happen in the era of cryptid. Just saying, you know.
Old school and new school coming together to make amazing.
So I'm not gonna put the year, even though I usually do put the year on my signature, only because you never know. Unless you want me to put the year on there, Jake.
No, just put your artistic signature on it.
Okay, cool. Well, I have it right here. Just give me a quick second.
And I'll show you the. It's not the finished version. I'll show you like the animated version tonight, but the audio included will be like later. So
okay, well there you go. That's my signature. You like my signature?
No.
Let me actually look at it. I was looking at the wrong place.
It has a horned god symbol on there with my initials.
That's perfect. That will look good on the white background. So I will shove that on.
Yeah, I just put it in I put it on a transparent background because I know how you are.
But yeah.
All right. So
I got something.
Oh, let me see the picture of the thumbnail real quick. What am I doing?
Gotcha.
I was gonna crypt it. This happened to me twice today. I was gonna tell you something, but I forgot.
Oh, about us getting a Blue Sky account? Was that what you wanted to talk to him about?
I mean, we could talk about that afterwards. But I was talking about something else. Something like, man, this only makes sense if I told cryptid, but I can't remember.
All good.
But you know, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, you should be proud of me. We after tonight, we're through the first part of the Metru saga. Okay.
Yay! And Austin isn't here for it.
Right.
Oh shit, we're live. Oh shit, we're live. Oh
yeah,
damn! I did.
I said we were going live. I said that a while ago.
I did not hear that. I did not hear that.
You have 2 votes against you, Jake. All right.
Hold on. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm posting it now.
Oh man.
But hey, audience, I guess this is usually we fake that bit where we're like, oh hey, didn't see you there. But no, I guess they didn't see you there. So
we did not. Hey, in my defense, Jake, I was helping you out with something that you wanted to do.
No, that's right. I thought everyone heard me when it's like, okay, going live. But
let me pull up the list on my end so that I can remember what the list was.
Good thing we didn't say it.
Yeah, I put it in the private chat, by the way, so.
Thank you. I have it up here on Discord too. I have my iPad up.
Yeah. Oh.
But also I have some chicken Alfredo pasta. Yeah, we know Subwell Spider-Man run sucks. Okay, we know that's Evia.
Yeah, this is basically gonna be our obituary for the final issue, man. Brace yourself. So yeah. Nice having you, man.
But I guess without further ado, since we've already made a fool of ourselves, let's just get started.
Well, me and Cryptid did. You knew about it.
It's cool with what's going on.
But all right, well, let's get started. Welcome, the Comic Fanatic, the reviews of the week, audience. You're here with me, Cryptid Zeker 415. I don't give multiple intros in a week, so go ahead.
And you're here with me, Jake Tylenol, witnessing the legend of Metru. And I gotta ask myself, if you're a villain, do you really keep falling for the same attack over and over again? Does that make you a good villain if you do? I'm just saying, like. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Bricky Wall is dead right now. We'll bring him back later. But I'm Richter. Yeah, I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I don't know. I fuck with the Ultimate X-Men issue 8 cover. It's so good. I'm sorry. I don't have anything else to say. Also, monsters and gay people are in this too. So if you're excited for that, keep an ear open.
The fact of the matter is, Ultimate Comics in general lately they just have stellar covers.
Pretty good. They've been pretty good, even though I've only read like 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm only down to 2 Ultimate books as well. Just X-Men, just Spider-Man and Black Panther. That's it.
I mean, I chose to only pick 2, okay? Because I knew what I wanted to read and I stuck with it.
Gotcha.
We from the Fanatics, and we talk about the news and reviews of the week. On this night of our special nights, we will be talking about the comic reviews. On these nights, we sometimes either review movies. I feel like really short, only one of us has seen it. We also review like TV shows a bit short, only one of us has seen it, or something like that. But mainly this is for the comics. Okay, we got some stellar and not so stellar books for you tonight. We got ourselves the Avengers. We got ourselves some Spider-Man. We got ourselves some, the weekly Bionicle. Oh, rarely appearing on the channel. We have a DC book. Okay.
Oh my God, DC book. Oh my God. I'm shook right now. Oh my God, I'm quivering in my boots.
I promise you can guess which possible 3 it could be. You got 3 guesses, and you will guess on one of them. So,
you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
And we're even getting some wrestling lore into the podcast. So,
give the wrestling industry that's promoting DC's comics, after all, some love, audience. Just saying. I know people.
DC book? Then it counts as a DC book. We got 2 DC books.
It's okay. Yeah, it is a DC book. I'll give you that, Witch. So, 2 DC books.
But if it has a DC logo on it, I'm counting it as DC.
Yeah, it has a logo. So, right. So yeah.
But you can follow us on our socials, which is ultimately the master of understanding. So.
I saw what you did there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Which we can hear you.
Just checking. My alarm went off for 8 p.m. After I do the socials, I'll do that. Anyways, you can follow us on YouTube at Comic Fanatic. Because why not? Why not? Get us to 50 subscribers so that we can start going live on YouTube. Ooh. Thoughts on that? Anyways, you can also follow us on Twitter at Comic Fanatic 69. And no, Cryptid did not think of that username. That was an all me thing because I run that social media.
Yeah.
And also let us know in the comment section, audience. Do you want us to make a Blue Sky account? Let us know. That will be a little bit more work for me to do, but I don't mind.
We might do it anyway, honestly.
Because I don't want Elon stealing my art for his pleasures. If you know, you know. Besides the point, if you don't want to follow these nerds, but if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U, because I'm too lazy to change it. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at witch_of_Jotunheim. I do post things on there sometimes, and if you're lucky, I might post cosplay stuff this week. Probably not, though, because I'm tired. Anyways, yeah, if you also want to follow my Tumblr and my Blue Sky account, and also my Space Hey, you could follow me at Northstar Aria, because I do post things on there as well. I'm trying to post more on Tumblr, so keep an eye out on that. If you want to follow my Guy Online account, it's also Witch of Jotunheim or Witch of Jotun. I can't remember off the top of my head. Like I said earlier, Austin is dead. Yo, Jake, where are you right now? In the
cosmic. I'm just on the boat back to Mata, you know the deal. But we'll be back in Metro within a week. So.
And Crypt is in the same place as always. Yeah, and I am done with the socials. I will be right back in like 2 minutes. I got to make sure that my alarm is off. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wait,
well, okay. All right. Well, which tends to that, I guess we could start off with the comics of the week, audience. And let me start us off.
Woo, comics.
With Avengers number 20. Now, this is a Black Panther solo issue, actually, because if you guys didn't know, in the last issue, Black Panther took it upon himself to go on a secret mission, right? Yeah, willingly by himself, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with the fact that his ex-wife just recently joined the team, you know? So, all right? Yeah, but now, audience, in case you don't know the status of what's going on with Black Panther in 616, right? Things have been pretty shaky between him and Wakanda because they had to go with all democracy and whatnot, and basically kick T'Challa out of Wakanda, you know. So what are you gonna do?
Introducing democracy to nations, bro. Let's just.
What do you think was a breaking point for you, man? Like when it was so in your face.
And that's why I kind of was like, you know what, maybe introducing democracy is too much. Well, it's really just because TV shows and movies don't really do it properly. Like, I don't think if we just introduce democracy tomorrow, people would be like, oh yeah. But
yeah,
I guess Wakanda will be an exception because they are pretty advanced. I guess they understand what a democracy is.
Yeah, what was wrong with the king and queen system in Wakanda? Like, really, you know?
You didn't have freedom of choice, even though they were the most advanced and happy nation on the planet. But whatever.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the paradise of the planet, you know? Like, so it's just weird. But anyway, so here we have T'Challa, right? He's going off to this planet that used to be conquered by the Twilight Court. Remember, wait, hold on a sec. We got comments. Oh, Red Temperance. That's what happened in Wakanda? LOL. Yeah. You should talk to our buddy Austin about that. Like, he knows every dirty thing that's been happening to T'Challa over the past couple of runs, you know? So, all right. But this issue kind of, gives you a sign of hope because, right now, T'Challa, he's in a separate planet, right? That was conquered by the Twilight Court. In case audience need reference, the Twilight Court was the team that was supposed to kill Kang, but they were defeated by the Avengers, right? It wasn't an easy battle, I'll tell you that, but they were able to defeat them. And right now, T'Challa is out kind of saving like this one planet where apparently they took people from all across the world, the universe, right? Bunch of different like alien species and just kind of imprison them on this planet, you know? And to make matters worse, to add a little bit of cruelty to that, the Twilight Court actually did something to their biological makeup to where these people cannot survive on any other atmosphere beside this planet. So you're like, oh damn, that's a little sick. That's sick and twisted, you know?
Yeah.
But now that the Twilight Court was subdued by the Avengers, you have like a bunch of fights between warring gangs at this point. You know, everybody has their own tribe. Everybody wants to look after themselves.
Are you trying to insinuate that it's a gang war?
Oh, World War Gang, if you want to call it like that. Which I feel
like the Marvel universe is oversaturated with wars. I think these wars have got to
stop. This is a secret war, Jake. To make you feel better. Well, nobody on 616 Earth knows about this, So And again, it's just like wars between tribes and factions. T'Challa's coming in. He subdues he saves a couple people from getting killed, and they explain to T'Challa what happened. T'Challa really isn't for this, right? And so he seeks to liberate this planet. He even kind of comments that "Hey, this can actually be a challenge. I mean, throughout my entire existence, I've always had like the backing of a nation and all the resources there. Here, I'm just here with what I have in my fists, and of course, he still has his suit and that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to liberate this world. So, which is kind of what he does. He beats all the gang leaders and he kind of becomes their king in the process. And you know what? This is where it's kind of funny, right? For all the crap that Wakanda did to T'Challa over the past couple of runs, this is where T'Challa is like, you know what? I'm creating my own new kingdom here, all by myself. So, so you took the king out of Wakanda only for him to be the king of another planet. So, yeah, all hail the king, audience. Look at that. Look at T'Challa, man. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna create my own kingdom, and it's gonna have flapjacks and hookers. So
not the hookers.
I want to have everything back to the status quo.
Well, that's the other thing. Remember, Jake, this is like a planet where all the inhabitants cannot leave it.
Yeah, so I guess T'Challa's just gonna leave them there and then just die off something.
That's gonna be a secret kingdom. I mean, hey, if Batman can have a secret bat cave, T'Challa can have his own secret nation.
But,
Yeah. And this is something that will be uniquely to T'Challa. It's not going to be anything from his family or from his nation. No, this is all T'Challa's domain now. So it was good. About time T'Challa gets some respect after all. I just hope his ex-wife doesn't come in the next issue and is like, okay, where's my 50-50 split here, T'Challa? Yeah. I've been studying Wakandan legal system. Okay, I know how these separations work. Come on, T'Challa. So, yeah, that was a good issue. So, yeah, that's really it from Avengers number 20, audience. So, alright then. We can move on to the next one.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool. Anyways, it is my turn. And we're talking about a very ultimate group of people. Talk about Ultimate X-Men issue 8, okay? We do get a look at the cover better when you turn the cover page over, and it looks sick as hell. Yeah. Before you even start the issue, I feel like I should preface. Pete actually drew 2 different versions of Hisako on like the credits page. So one that's based off of the one from this book, and the one that is inspired by the one, like the version of Hisako that was drawn by John Cassidy, because he did pass away recently, so may he rest in peace. But anyway, let's get to this cast, bestie.
Yeah.
Okay. Hisako, armor. May Storm. Nico, she don't got no hero alias at the moment. We got Mori, who is one of Nico's friends, and then Natsu, who is also one of Nico's friends, who might be based off of a certain, a certain other mutant from 616. Who knows? Anyways, you got Kanon, who is Psylocke, but without the W, so it's not Quanon. Well, technically it's not pronounced that way anyways, but it's Kanon. We got Noriko, who is Surge. We got the Master, or the Meister. That's just Mr. Sinister. And then we got Viper. So, yay! Anyways, let's cut over to the first page. So we see this girl, she's like going around live streaming what we're doing. But she's going around school place.
Which you're setting up a bit. Can you hear him, Jake?
Yeah, a little bit, but I hear the sound.
Okay, say something now. Which
I don't want to.
Still hearing the static.
Talk amongst yourselves about the school. I'll be back.
Okay. Oh. Well, okay, so let's wait on which a bit, audience. So,
Reminds me of the
yeah.
episode Sonic X where
Okay.
Sonic, he was running.
I'm back. I told you not to talk about Sonic. I told you not to talk about the school.
He left with one rule, Jake. One
I had
rule.
one rule. You broke it. I'm disappointed in you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, we see this girl. She's walking around. She's telling people about like the deaths that happened at the school and everything like that. Maybe something about an armor girl. Maybe. Okay. Anyway, so we cut over to this apartment complex where we see this really disgruntled guy running up some stairs and is like, "Hold on, are you home? Like, god damn it, where are you?" And so we find out that this is actually Kanon's brother, the one who signed the NDA from last month from Viper, remember?
Ooh.
And so basically, he finds her at a convenience store, and he's like, "Why did you post it?" And it's specifically like that, okay? And she's like, "Oh, you mean the NDA or the pic of that horror show suitcase? I mean, like, what's the big deal? I deleted it right away." Once something goes on the internet, it never truly leaves. Just letting you know that now.
Definitely no.
Keep in mind, she probably did not sign the NDA, so she wasn't actually required to, follow the rules of the NDA. I think that's how that works, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so basically, her brother is like, "We're the ones who are gonna get deleted. Turn off your phone. We need to go now." And it's like, hey, not her fault. She didn't sign the NDA. Bestie. Anyway, so we cut over to Iridori High School, okay? And we see Mei, Nico, and Hisako, they're just like, they're just vibing, And Hisako was like, "Oh, Nico, what's up?" And Nico's like, "I found something online. Like, you don't have to look at it if you don't want to. It's kind of disturbing." And so she shows the picture of the suitcase that Conan posted online. And they're like, "Oh my god, is that suitcase full of meat? Like, I think it's body parts." I'm just reading their dialogue. Okay? You can probably guess who's the suit. And yeah, May's like human? Like, no way, that's gotta be fake, Like, don't zoom in, that's gross.
Damn.
And so they look at one part and they see the logo of the Children of the Atom, and they come to the conclusion that it's part, like, the Children of the Atom is a cult. Like, yeah, we knew this. We've been knew this, and Nico, so Nico was like, "Oh yeah, the original post got deleted, but the photo has gone viral. Like, there's a hashtag Children of the Atom. So hashtag Children of the Atom, y'all. Let's go."
There you go.
And basically, so we do find out that the Children of the Atom symbol is the same that's on Hisako's like little charm thing that her friend Tsubasa gave to her before he died, So yeah, it's a protection charm. It's technically like more than that, but whatever. I don't have to get into that. So Nico's like, "Okay, can we focus? Like, we know this cult uses the symbol, we know this." Yeah. And so May is like, "So you think their followers know about these suitcases?" And Nico's like, "I highly doubt it. Like, legal documents suggest otherwise, And she's like, "With cults, followers are brainwashed into believing without thinking," which is true. I've seen it myself. I was never a part of a cult, but I've seen real life cults. I'm not gonna name names, but if you know, you know. Anyways, so yeah. She basically explains what the deal is with a fucking cult is. Yeah, they're gonna brainwash her ass to believe whatever the fuck they want you to believe, And you gotta sign the NDAs as well. And so Hisako's like, "Okay, although some only members, the only reason why some of these motherfuckers are members is because of their families. Like Natsu over here, she's a part of the cult. She didn't probably want to be a part of a cult. Her parents were a part of it." And Nico's like, "Okay, and we know how she feels. So, someone like May shouldn't be caught up with this. Wouldn't normally be caught up with this, But people who are empty need something to believe in, That's why they go to cults, Fun fact: some people in Korea and Japan try to indoctrinate me into a cult. Fun fact.
Oh damn!
Obviously, I didn't fucking join. Anyways, So they like zoom in on another part of the picture, and Nico's like, okay, Natsu. I remember seeing a number like this on her. The number is 127, by the way. I don't know if that's important, but just letting you know, the number is 127. And so we find out that Natsu has something similar on her, and it's like a tattoo, So, and she was like, oh yeah, we weren't close enough at the time, so I didn't really ask. But based on that, I could be pretty confident that this picture is real. I mean, are the mats and the discolors not telling you enough? Head over to Natsu. They're just walking around, and they catch up with some of Natsu's old friends, and I specify old, And so Natsu just wants to be like left alone. She does not want to deal with these people anymore, and she tries to leave the situation, as most people would in that situation, and one of her ex-friends was like, oh, you don't want to hang out with us? You don't want to talk to your friends? Like, be careful around Natsu, man. She's a killer. And then Moni's like, what does she mean about that? And so one of the other girls, like, taunts her with, like, a soda can or whatever. And is gonna throw it. And guess what? We finally get to see Natsu using her powers for more than just covers. Oh my god, shocking. She has the one optic blast from her one eye, the one that's with the eye patch on it, and basically zaps the can and almost zaps the other girl, And hey, you're gonna poke the bear. The bear's gonna attack, or like at least defend itself.
Especially
with X-Men. You're lucky that she could kind of control her optic blast, unlike a certain other person with optic blast. Scott.
Hey, remember, he got brain damage because of that.
Exactly. Anyways, so one of the other girls, she's girl with pigtails now because I don't really know her name, and if she was named, I don't care enough. She was like, yeah, stay away from her. She's a freak and a messed up cult and a murderer. We don't know why she said that. We just that's all we know. I don't believe Natsu is a murderer until proven otherwise. I like Natsu. Anyway, so we cut over to this random household with some ginger people. Not the ginger people, am I right? Anyway, so the kid is like, hey, Mom, are we in a cult? And the mom's like, what do you mean? And so basically he shows her like his phone with all like the Children of the Atom stuff. And the mom's like, no, just give me the phone. Give me the phone. Like, no, that's just outsider ignorance, blah, 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 blah. And so basically the mom tries to forcibly grab the phone out of his hand. And basically fire comes out of him and burns his mom really badly. Yeah. Lovely, am I right? Anyway, so I think I have a theory that this is pyro. Obviously it's not Sunfire. It's because he's ruling over wherever the fuck they live. So I think that this is pyro. How many other fire-based mutants can you think of off the top of your head besides those two? Quickly.
Is Sun? Wait, no. What's her name from the Amazing Friends?
Firestar.
Firestar, yeah. Isn't she a mutant?
Magma as well.
So.
I think this is pyro. That's my theory on this. So we kind of,
I find it embarrassing that you have a group out there in Marvel called the Hellfire Club without anybody in the team that actually has fire powers.
I wouldn't
ever think of that.
But anyway, we cut like a park, I think, and basically, we find out that the person in the car is named Yukio. I wonder who that could be. Oh my god. So basically, she's like, oh yeah, I'm at some random park, I'm just doing an investigation on that school with the suicides, the one with the unalivements. Yeah. And so the person on the phone is like, yeah, what about your last video? You said you were going to post it at noon. It's 2 a.m. And Yukio's like, oh yeah, sorry, Tux forgot to edit and upload it. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. And the friend is like, don't tell me you're camping in your car again. You got to be more careful. And so Yukio's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll be back at it in no time. Bye. And so she's also like, boo, I was hoping if I went all this way, I was gonna find the armor girl and it was gonna be Slay. And guess what? She sees a bright pink blob in the distance. I wonder who that could be. Huh? Who can that be? And so basically, she sees it. She's like, "Oh my god, no fucking way!" And guess who it is? It's Hisako. And so, yeah, she's kind of upset over everything so far, and she's like, "Protect from what? Like a freaking cult? Like what the hell? Like no damn fucking way, And so we see Yukio pull up with her phone. She's live streaming it, and she's like, "Oh my god, this armor girl." And so Hisako looks at her very like, "What the fuck do you want? I don't want to talk to you right now. I am going through a mental episode. Leave me alone." And so Yukio's like, "Okay, sorry to bother you. I didn't expect to see you here at all, but I was hoping if you can help me out with something. I am a streamer from this one streaming company. It's like, yeah, don't worry about what the name of the streaming channel is. Don't worry about it." So anyways, so she's like, "Okay, you're Armor Girl, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm totally on your side. I wanted to ask about your friend Tsubasa. It's like, if now's not a good time, we could trade numbers." And so basically, before she can finish her sentence, Hisako goes over, grabs her phone, crunch. She crunches her phone, and most of her the stick that she's gonna hold it. I mean, I wouldn't like to be recorded without my permission either. That's just me personally. But that's just me. Hold on, though. Wow, we got a lot of comments here. What the hell are those? Oh, I think these are just past ones. Never mind.
Yeah, past ones. Yep.
My bad. I thought it was new shit. Anyways, so we cut over back to Kanon's apartment that she shared with her brother. But guess what? They're not there. Oh my god. I wonder who is there though. And basically this person's on the phone and was like, "Oh, did you find who dumped the body? You gotta find them. We gotta stop this before it does any more damage. The public knows too much." And the person on the phone is like, "Viper, we have another problem. Since the images are leaked, the children of the atom are starting to ask questions. We tempered it down, but if some of the more powerful children, figure it out, well, it's not gonna be well." And so Viper's like, "You are the master. Make them believe your words. If you can't do that, you are no use to us. But anyways, where did our officer friend disappear to and his delinquent sister?" But anyways, before she could figure out where they are, we cut over to a school rooftop. Which I wonder why we're at a school rooftop. Any guesses?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't answer my question. But anyways, so we see someone holding a box cutter on the top of a school roof. And we see our girl Serge. She's like, "Yo, Amano, before you check out, you do this?" And he does not even look at the phone. He just he slits his wrist, and we see a bunch of shadowy goop pull up, and he disappears while Serge is eating a boigi. If you don't know what a boigi is, you don't know me well enough. It's a burger. Figure it out. So just to let you know, boigi. So she's like, "Wow, that's one way to disappear." She's like, "Things have been so boring recently. Kageyama, hurry up and wake up so I can have my homie back. This guy's too emo for my the sake of my sanity." Anyways, so we cut over to a computer screen or whatever, where we see these two people talking about the Children of the Atom stuff, and the man with his freaking two-screened phone, the one, right? The ones that can fold over.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't know those phones?
The flip phones.
They're kind of like flip phones, but it's you open it book-wise instead of flip phone-wise. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. He's he's staring at his fucking phone. He's trying to get as much information as possible. But after he does that, he does his normal cult spiel thing. And guess what? Some random girl with, I think, brownish hair with some lighter streaks up front, she's recording it. I wonder what that can mean. It also looks like she's wearing some gloves of some sort. But besides the point, she's recording this, and we find out that she posted it, a new Children of the Atom video. Yukio is happy about that. Hopefully the suitcase have some connection to him. And guess what, besties? We found out that the armor girl is from this one place, It all leads to the same city, Kirisaki City. Ooh. So Nico's on her phone looking at all this information. Natsu is in her room just sulking because she didn't want to do any of that shit. But anyway, so we see this one random mutant, and is does this mean the world is coming to an end? And the master, being the worst because he is a sinister, he's yes. And that's where the book ends. Sorry that took me forever. But Jake broke my one rule, and now he must sign an NDA.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift, he did not listen to my one request. Anyways, that's Ultimate X-Men issue 8. If you have been reading this book, let me know what you think about it so I can chit chat with y'all, or just hit me up on my socials. I'm not doing much.
Cool.
Anyways, next book.
Cool. Alrighty then. I guess with that we can move on to the next one. And we're talking about Absolute Superman #1. Now, did anybody else?
People loved it.
Now, did anybody else read this book besides me?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Of course, this is a different version of Superman going on. We had a different version of Batman, then a different version of Wonder Woman. Now here it's Superman's turn. So, the book starts out with, kind of going back to Krypton in that era, of Jor-El, and you kind of see the class systems being explored here. You have the elites who, they embrace their symbols on their chest with a sun, as a symbolic gesture of their higher beings, While the working class there are subjected to be wearing the S, as, they're the forced laborers, the Men of Steel, if you will want to put it like that, So,
I wonder what that could mean.
I know, right? Yep. But then, of course, you have Jor-El, who's, working at his farm, working on his ship. Apparently, he was kicked out of the elite system or whatever like that, and apparently the council decided to cut funding on space explorations, this and that, Jor-El and his wife are just barely managing to survive. I mean, for God's sakes, apparently things are so bad environmental wise that you actually have to pay for rain to come around your area,
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to pay. There are apparently these robots that come passing by that will emit rain clouds coming up, That's how you get your water, apparently. But what can you do? So throughout this issue, Jor-El and the rest of the Kryptonians, they're, of course, mining this and that until they, I guess the moral of the story, right, is they mine too much and we're taking so much of Krypton's natural resources that's what's ending up destroying this planet. Because when they were mining, that's when they dug up what do you call those? Not a crater, but when you hit something in the ground, stuff starts emitting.
You talking about at the equator? What are you talking about?
Or something equator like that. I put it this way, Jake. They start mining, and next thing you know, a green fire substance starts emitting out.
That's the BP oil spill on a galactic scale.
Yeah, I guess if you want to put it that way. So everybody, oh man, I should post a picture of this, but one of the Kryptonians, he gets fully doused with this green substance, and oh man, it's like acid bath for him, Of course,
Just send us a picture later.
Gotcha. Yeah, of course, this guy doesn't make it, and yes, of course, this is Kryptonite we're talking about, Jor-El is the only one to survive this. But then we cut back to present day, where we go to like the absolute Superman of the present time, and it's instead of Kansas, he's in Brazil because
Brazilian Superman.
Yep,
I
because
know all of the Brazilian peoples are gonna be happy with the rest.
Yep, because apparently, the corporation that calls themselves Lazarus, right? They're having like this one village be mining the coals off their resources. You know that the again like taking Earth's natural resources for their benefit, right? And of course, the Lazarus Corporation has their peacemakers unit combine this to make sure everything's up and running. And yeah, the peacemaker moniker in this universe is basically a bunch of elite guards, all suited up with armor. They kind of look like people from Gears of War, to be honest. From Gears. Yep, from Gears of War, except that they're actually still wearing a Peacemaker's trademark helmet, But yeah, it's at this point you find out that Superman is here looking after this village, and you find out that like his motivation is he had to see his world blow itself up when they were taking all its Earth's natural resources, all its planet's natural resources. So he kind of doesn't want that to happen to Earth. He's kind of seeing the same thing happen again.
Isn't this not just standard Superman stuff? At this point, he's just older.
From what we saw in Krypton, like yes, Superman was still a toddler. Yes, in most depictions, Superman is a baby when he gets sent off. But in this world, apparently, he was around at least to remember Krypton.
I just find it funny. Ironically, the greedy version of Krypton lived longer than the less greedy.
Oh wow! Would you look at that, man?
I don't know. It's funny. It's like this is the same origin from my understanding. It's just Superman is just older. This thing is funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, he comes in the world like not trying to make sure that this world doesn't end up like his, So, of course, he battles against the peacemakers. I keep trying to say peacekeepers. Maybe it's because I recently rewatched Hunger Games, But
how was Hunger Games, by the way?
Hunger Games? I watched the movies, all of them. They're pretty good, So yeah.
So peacemakers, yes. Elaborate.
Peacemakers. Oh well, here they're basically an elite guard unit here.
Kind of like the Nova Corps.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but they work for the big corporations.
So like Roxxon.
Basically, yeah, that equivalent. Which You ever hear of Gears of War?
No.
The video game.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Both of you to assume that I know the things that you guys know.
Gotcha. But anyway, we kind of do see a little bit of what makes this version of Superman different, because he actually has a suit that has its own built-in AI, and it does supply. Yep, soul. Yeah, and it does power him up with sun energy.
So also acts as the fortress of solitude.
There we go. Throughout this whole fight, like it's communicating with Superman, telling him what it examined, this and that. And unfortunately, like Superman ends up using his big solar flare, where he shoots out all his solar energy out in one burst, killing all the peacemakers, But unfortunately, it is at this moment where the military ends up coming in, and to subdue Superman, and the person who chains him up with power dampening collar is none other than Agent Lane herself. Audience. In this universe, apparently Lois Lane walks in her dad's footsteps and joins the military. So she's like, "This is Agent Lane, suspect in custody," and she's pointing a gun at Superman at Kal-El, saying, "Move, and I fry your face, Superman." Okay. Yikes. So yeah, that's pretty much this issue. Again, I kind of feel like Jason Aaron coming into DC was probably the best thing that ever happened in his career because his runs, his comics there have been pretty good. I mean, I've been liking what he's been doing with Batman and Batman Off World. You guys remember that book, right?
Yeah.
The one
Batman the one is going to space and he's like, oh, aliens are weird. That's
and they explain why he's prejudiced against Starfire's people, like why he says why he's telling Dick, I prefer you with Barbara. I don't like you with that Tamaranian.
Whoa, Tamaranian racism.
I'm not racist. You can't trust those people.
Well, yeah. Which in Batman Off-World it goes on to explain that yes, Batman did have a previous relationship with a Tamaranian, so you could tell where that went. You could tell what ended up happening in that relationship, which to make him hate that kind, So.
Whoa, that kind. Okay.
Yep. But yeah, that's just an example. Is like Jason Aaron did good with Batman. Here, he's going to probably do good with Superman. According to a lot of the other reviews I've been seeing, that people have been liking this. So I guess that just leaves him to do Wonder Woman sometime in the future. Come on, Jason Aaron, do the Trinity already. So yeah, that was a good issue.
Do you trust Jason Aaron to do Wonder Woman better than Tom King or whoever the fuck was writing it?
No, well, Wedge, you've heard me. Tom King has always been like has more misses than hits. He's the same guy who wrote that. What was it? The one, Heroes in Crisis. The one where he had Wally West do a murder suicide that everybody hated. Damn. Yeah, I know. Especially when everybody was like, "Wait, but Wally West was literally came back from DC Rebirth. He was supposed to bring the hope back to the DC universe. He was supposed to be an instrumental part of defeating Dr. Manhattan. And what's this? Oh my God, he commits a murder suicide. Oh damn. Yeah. That's Tom King, which
Yeah, I know who Tom King is. Don't worry, I know who Tom King is.
Yep. And you heard, well, it won't be the last time you hear Tom King because, sadly, I have a Tom King book to talk about later today. So
why are you doing this to yourself?
Hey, he's I'll explain more when we get to it. So, all right. But yeah, that's really it for Absolute Superman. Okay, all good.
Anyways, Beasties, you want to talk about a really awesome book?
Hold up, Witch, hold up. Okay,
Yay!
now.
Hello, Beasties. And no, I'm not saying besties, because we're at Monster High at the new Scaresemester, issue 3, with Miss Draculaura, no last name, because she's too cool. She don't need one. Anyway, yeah, she's on the cover now. I need to get all 4 of the covers when issue 4 comes out, just put them together. I think that would be cool. Am I right? Anyway, so as you could probably guess, this is a Draculaura focused issue. Oh my God. And we see her throughout throughout her school day being like kind of out of it, She's like not focusing at, fear leading, at student council stuff, etc., etc. She sees a portrait of her father, which if you know anything, you can't see his face or hands though, but you can see his clothes because that's something that happens, right, Jake?
Yeah.
Exactly. But we find out that she's grieving over something. I wonder what it could be. Oh my God, I know. Anyway, so we cut back from 800 years ago. Keep in mind, Draculaura at this point, like in the modern era, is 1600 years old. Okay, so 800 years ago. You do the math. I'm too lazy to do math. Basically, her father asks if she knows what it takes to be a proper vampire, and she's like, "Oh, standing still for loads of portraits." And keep in mind, she's a vegan vampire, so she doesn't like blood, you know. But her father reassures her that vampires are known to be exceptional. You know, they have, usually protectors, leaders, and trust me, you'll be no different, Draculaura. We need you to be awesome, be exceptional, but don't be a part of the Exceptional X-Men, because I read that book and I was bored. Anyways, so we cut back from out of her dazed state, and she realizes, oh crap, she's late again. I wonder what she's late for. She is late for the school board paperwork. She has to go to the student council stuff with Claude, which I don't know why they're not dating in this book, which, like, come on. What do you mean? They're known for doing that. Anyways, student council stuff. Okay? So basically, Claude is like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. Just happy you made it. So now just, like, sit. Just thought we'd fill in for you where you were, MIA. Like, what were you doing? And Dracula is like, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. I've just been so drained, like the floor is all yours, VP. And Claude, being a himbo, is like, you got it, Drac, But anyways, let's start with this, So Claude is like, okay, let's get down to business. What's the deal with the disappearance of Headmistress Bloodgood? As you can remember from the first issue, she just kind of disappeared. She was more MIA than Draculaura was. That's how bad this is getting. And so one of the other people is like, disappearance, isn't she on vacation? And Claude's like, there are two things Bloodgood has always prided herself on, helping students flourish, and her perfect student body council meeting attendance. I'm not going to do all the monster puns. I'm sorry, Jake. I told you I was going to do it. I'm just tired. I don't want to do it.
Come on. Try at least one, man. Come on.
I did. I have. I have to be patient. Anyway, so Claude's like, okay, think about it. Bloodgood loved knowing everything going down on campus, so she'd never leave her house without giving us a howl first. There you go. Are you happy, Cryptid?
Okay. There you go.
Werewolf. And, he's like, something's quite off. I can't put my paw on it real quick, but we'll figure it out. And we see Draculaura writing down a list of names, of people who have been disappearing. And Bloodgood is one of them. And also to all my G2 Monster High stands, Monica Decay is in this book. We don't know what happened to her, but she has been mentioned. So to all my one Monica person, fan, I guess, got your representation. Thoughts on that? Anyways, so Claude is like, okay, and we've not heard a growl from Headmaster Frankenstein from this. I'm afraid that this might be the work of normies. And so Draculaura, she just remembers her kissing a normie boy, which apparently I had to have read Once Bitten, Twice Dead. I don't want to read a book, okay? I read comic books. I don't read novels, okay? But besides the point, if someone could fill me in on who Poe is, who has read the novel, please do, because I don't plan on reading this. I'm sorry. That's not the goal. Anyways, so we see Rochelle Goyle, because she's a gargoyle. Fun fact, if you didn't know. She's like, okay, well, in that case, we have to coordinate monster hunter drills, to prepare everyone for an attack. And Manny Tor, you can probably guess what his monster type is like, okay, we've always point the horn at normies, Rochelle. What if there's more to this? We should make an announcement. And so we see this little troll guy named Lothar, He had never had a doll, by the way. I'm just letting you know that now. Sorry to all my Lothar fans. I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. I don't remember who this is. So basically, he's like, ahem, as the secretary of the Student Bloody Council, I say we keep these fears under wraps, okay, until we got more evidence, we just can't sign something off, Hold on, we got a new comment. Wait, hold on. Wait, where's the comment? Oh man, it's Wakanda comments.
Let's see.
Wait, no, it's Austin.
Hey, I got the people watching at work, so you better deliver, witch.
Fuck you, Austin. I'm talking about Monster Eye over here. I don't think your coworkers want me to talk about Monster Eye. Anyways, so Manny over here is like, really, Lothar, over nothing? Like, bro, this council should stand for something and tell everyone what we know. Like, we're supposed to be the voice of the herd. Because remember, he has to make, like, bull and cow puns because, he's a minotaur. Oh, I guess, I wouldn't guess. So, and Lothar's like, we're supposed to be playing, we're supposed to be planning for the Heart Charity event, Manny. We don't really have anything else on that. And Claude, is like, hey, at the end of the day, no matter what's happening, the Student Bloody Council operates for the good of Monster High. So, Draculaura, what do you think? Like, it's your blood that protects the school after all. And Draculaura, like I said, she's been zoned out this entire time. Like, Jesus Christ, girl, go to therapy. She's like, what was the question? And Claude, kind of disappointed, was like, listen, I've got to go to class. Like, let's revisit this next week. Meeting adjourned. There you go. I had to do like the gavel thing, but on my bed because I did not want to do that on my desk. Anyway, so we cut over to a science class. Thoughts on science, Cryptid? Thoughts on science?
It's cool. Why not?
Science,
but it's not just any science. It's monster science.
Okay,
Austin, monster science.
In the Monster High world, everything has to be monster themed.
Exactly. Even a lot of the the terminology that they use.
Doesn't make any sense. But whatever.
It's okay. Don't worry. But we do get something from our lovely narrator. Was like, oh yeah, well, Draculaura found herself in a web of grief and newfound responsibilities. Cleo denial was ensnared by something else. I wonder what that something else could be, guys. Place your bets in the comment section below. Maybe like an emerald-eyed monster. Also known as Envy. Ooh. Anyways, so Gulia tells Cleo and Cleo's like, of course Mr. Hackington would pair us together. Like, duh. She's like, I just can't wrap my head around how Deuce can betray me like this. One day he's throwing stones at my window in a poor attempt to win me back, and now he's hanging out with Claudine, which, bestie, wait till you find out, cause I read the issue. I don't know what you want from me. And Cleo's like, okay, what is it you're saying about chemistry? Like, that you can see it between me and Deuce still? Like, you think our love will overflow and ignite into passionate flames? And Gulia's like, God damn it. And guess what? Laguna stands. She pulls up, She's chilling out. She notices that Draculaura pulled up. Fucking finally. Drac, why you keep being late to school, man? Stop being late to your classes. Like, I know you're still depressed over not being able to make out with your human boyfriend anymore, but hey, that ain't on me. That's on you. Okay, if you get yelled at by your dad, that ain't on me. Okay, you hear that, Jake? You hear that? Exactly. Anyways, so Draculaura poofs out of bat form into her more humanoid form. I say humanoid because obviously she's not a normie. Anyways, so she's like, she apologizes to Laguna for being late, thanks for starting the experiment without me. I'm not doing all the monster puns, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Anyways, so Laguna's like, yeah, no worries, I know you've been swamped. And Mr. Hackington is like, Draculaura, you're late. That'll be a 20-point deduction from your experiment. She's like, I can do the extra credit. And then we hear a loud boom. And guess who gets covered in green goop? Do you want to place your bets, guys? Yes.
Who?
Okay, well, it was Cleo and Gulia. You gotta keep up. Anyways, so Cleo's like, oh my raw. I just had these linen wraps dry cleaned. Because remember, she's like the rich girl. She's not going to throw her clothes in the washing machine and call it a day. She's not the rest of us. And so Mr. Hackington is like, Cleo, see me after class. Which, yeah, no, that experiment obviously did not go well. But anyways, we have to go to lunch. Lunch is important, right? Right, Cryptid?
Of course.
Exactly.
One of the most enjoyable. Hey, it's everybody's most enjoyable time of the day.
I eat lunch more than I eat breakfast, anyways. Yeah, that's because I tend to sleep until 11 or 12, audience, not because I'm skipping meals on purpose. Okay? Cool. Got it. Anyways, so we cut over to finally going to see Frankie and Claudine and how they're doing. Finally, am I right? Anyways, so Frankie's like, I'm worried about my dad, Claudine. He's been acting really strange. You know, like he hasn't been spending any time in his office lately. His experiments are sitting around collecting dust. I don't know. It's like something's off. Claudine's like, oh, Ghoul, sounds like he's just overwhelmed. And Frankie's like, I don't know. Like when he comes home, it just feels like his spark is gone. You know, and Claudine's like, stepping in as Scaresemester is a monstrous task. You know, taking up all that responsibility. Like, I get it. And Frankie's like, kind of like Draculaura. And Claudine's like, yeah, kind of like Drac, you know. But speaking of Draculaura, guess who they hang out with at the lunch table? Draculaura. All my Draculaura fans. Also, if you pay attention on who's chilling out at the creepateria, that's what they call it sometimes. You can see Venus. You know, you can see Scara. You know, you get to see Iris. You get to see everyone. Not everyone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Frankie and Claudine sit down at Draculaura's table, and you know they want to catch up. And you know Draculaura's like, oh, you know, hey ghouls, you know, just looking over school board, like, you know, funds. Like I need to get it approved for the new budget and everything. Claudine's like, sounds kind of unfair having so much on your plate, you know. Frankie's like, yeah, I don't want you short circuiting because you know they have to make puns regarding to their monster type, you know, because it makes sense. It makes sense, right? And Draculaura is like, something I do feel like I'm in over my head sometimes, you know? Like, I don't want nothing more just to crawl into my coffin and slam the lid shut. You know, but it's my duty to look after Monster High, so that's what my dad would have wanted, so I considered it an honor. You know, I know this might not be the best thing ever, but I kind of want a coffin of my own. Like, a bed is fine, but sometimes I just want a coffin, you know? So, audience, if you can find out a way to get me a coffin that I could sleep in normally, let me know. For like a good price, please. I'm not wanting to spend like tens of thousands of dollars on a coffin. Thank you.
Yep.
And so basically, she looks over her shoulder and talk about Draculaura, by the way. She looks over her shoulder and she's like, in other news, I don't think Torali's too batty about me earlier. Like, I know I've been fumbling at fear lead practice, but like, yeah. And so Claudine is like, you know, she's like, okay, well, it's not that it's not you that she hates, it's me, and I kind of deserved it. So if you can remember from the Pride issue, which I do have it's over on my shelf. I can go grab it right now if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So if you didn't know, Claudine and Toralei were dating, which if you know anything about G1 Monster High, that doesn't really make too much sense. But regardless, they were dating for a while. You know, like they were like, you know, inseparable. They were like doing whatever. And then all of a sudden, she ended things. Probably because of her abandonment issues, you know, and the fact that her parents were divorcing. So yeah, it obviously was not the best way to break up with your girlfriend. Just Claudine, at least you can. She not bad about it. Only she feels the way it did, but it's hard for her. Hey Toralei, sorry everything, you know. But you know what? It's okay. Once she gets the courage, maybe she'll be able to, you know? And guess what? Claudine and Draculaura embrace each other, you know, because they've been dealing with similar stuff recently. And Frankie's like, I had been trying to re-energize our bond this entire goddamn time. I'm the one who signed us all up for fearleading practices. And Claudine's like, shh, we're having a moment here, Frankie. And Draculaura's like, speaking of fear leading tryouts, isn't it strange how Monica just like never showed up? You know? And the others are like, yeah, I haven't seen her since then either. Like and Claudine's like, Monica's got like family in New York, right? Like maybe she's visiting them. You know? And Draculaura's like, it's not just her. It's like Bloodgood and a couple other people as well, you know? And you know they're starting to like trying to figure out what is actually happening because like these disappearances aren't just gonna happen out of nowhere, you know. But anyways, so Draculaura is like, ah crap, the school board needs me. Well, I gotta fang out, guys. I'll see you later. You know. Anyways, so we gotta figure out what's going on with Cleo. Oh my god, what's happening with Cleo? Jake, what's happening? Do you know?
She's dead.
I mean, she's a mummy, so kind of, yeah. But besides the point, she goes and meets up with Deuce Gorgon. Oh my god. To all my Cleo Deuce shippers out there. Ooh. So I need to get some context if you don't know. Basically, they were known for being like the couple at Monster High, but for some reason Cleo broke it off, and this is where we're leading up to. Okay, so basically, Deuce is like, you wanted to talk, and Cleo's like, yeah, so tell me the truth, are you still in love with me? And he's like, yeah, for sure, I'm still snakes over tails for you, and Cleo's like, but if you're gonna tell me you got a thing for Claudine, like, I swear. And Deuce is like, Claudine, like, what are you talking about? And Cleo's like, you were just saying how much you love me, like, how, like, did you miss the sound of my voice or whatever? My lips touching yours, like, you'd move mountains for me. And Deuce is like, I was. And so his snakes start talking to him, being like, yo, she ain't worth it, man. Like, don't forget what she's become. And Deuce is like, no, you've changed, Cleo, and I don't know if I could deal with that. And so basically, they're starting to like embrace each other a little bit. It's kind of hard to explain it because I wasn't able to get screenshots for this. So sorry, y'all. For some reason, certain websites still want to actually upload the scans. But besides the point. So, basically Cleo's trying to like rekindle this relationship a little bit. And guess what? They rekindle. They do a little kissy. And before the end of the issue, we see Gulia look over the corridor, and she sees this. Do you have any theories on what this could mean, guys?
Don't know.
Do
you think Gulia has something for Cleo? That's the real question I'm trying to ask.
Well, I guess we'll find out next time.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so that's where the issue ends. We do see the cover for the next issue, which is Claudine. And we do get a variant cover for this, so, which is a cool Draculaura one, doing her makeup and doing her hair in her room. I want a coffin bed. How do I get one of those? Audience, please let me know how I get a cool Draculaura-style coffin bed. Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, that's it for me. Austin, I hope that you are satisfied with my review. I'm not the best at reviewing things, you know me by now.
Gotcha. But all right. With that, let's move on to the next comic, audience. And I got this one. Penguin Special Number 1. Tales of Gotham's Most Foulest Gangster. Get that pun, audience? So, this kind of spiritually picks up from what happened at the end of Tom King's Penguin run, the run where Penguin came back to Gotham, got his powers back. Oh wow, almost like that whole run was about showing a villain's rise to power, I wonder what that's about.
Maybe they should make a TV show about it,
Yeah, Yep. So anyway, it's funny you should mention that, Jake. So we start us off with like this hospital, right? Where you have this one sickly looking woman in a wheelchair being taken care of by would you say her caretaker, the guy who's here supposed to look after her, give her meds, feed her food, because apparently her mind's a vegetable. Jake,
Oh, interesting. Wow, these are I feel like this is a lot of stuff you could be using in a TV show material, honestly.
I know, right? So anyway, the guy is commenting on her, like, her name is Madeline, by the way. He's like saying, "Oh my God, you're making such great progress. Oh, and don't worry, I got good news. Your husband's coming over." So, all right. Oh, that should be him at the door right now. Well, isn't it great to see your husband, Mrs. Cobb? Oh, so the person coming in is actually Penguin. Penguin gives the caretaker gives Penguin a chair, and he's saying, "I have some great news for you, Mr. Cobblepot. Your wife has been making a tremendous amount of improvement. I don't know what happened. Like, the strangest thing happened. Apparently, the medications that she was given, good Lord, they contain enough tranquilizers in there to even make a rhino brain dead. Yeah, something really must have gone wrong in the paperwork. But don't worry, Mr. Cobblepot. I was able to fix that. So she's just given the proper dosage to the point where she's actually going to go back to normal, you know? And Penguin's like, back to normal. That's too bad. What? Wait, what's going on here? And even the caretaker's like, wait, what did you say, Mr. Cobblepot? As Cobblepot slices the guy's Achilles heel with his umbrella. I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on? Penguin's like, you had one job to do. Feed Madeline, bathe Madeline, and make sure she has her prescriptions every day. But you couldn't even do that. Like, oh damn. Yeah, so as Madeline is actually coming back to her normal self, like, Penguin's going on his monologue saying, okay, you see, it worked out like this. Once upon a time, she forgot who she belonged to. So she decided to leave me and take our children with her. Ah, yes, I know, but she forgot. She made a binding agreement. Remember, wife? In sickness and in health, for better or worse. What was that, Jake?
I'm starting to think Cobblepot. You know what? Cobblepot is a reasonable man in this version.
Okay. And Madeline, this is the worst. And it's like Madeline's like, just saying, please kill me. And this is where Oswald comes in and brings her the news. Yeah, you remember our children? Addison and Aiden Cobblepot, the twins? Yeah, I killed them because they thought they could fly too close to the sun and take over my position.
Deserved.
Oh, god damn. If you guys want to see Penguin as a villain, yeah. Tom King's Run really emphasized that, especially the way he brutally killed his own son, Damn. You see, son, most parents hope their children become better than them, that they could one day have a better life than their old parents. Not me, though, son. You were never born to take over my spot.
Honestly, I wish you were a disappointment.
Well, I can't even say you were a disappointment, son, because you're in the exact position I always thought you would be, bleeding at my feet. Like, oh, wow. So basically, Oswald commences with killing the caretaker, and that's when he brings in a new caretaker who is going to do exactly as Oswald says. So yeah, his ex-wife is a vegetable, audience, basically. So who would have thought? But yeah. Luckily, they didn't get Tom King to write this. It was actually Jeremy Adams, So, yeah, out of this whole era of Tom King's Penguin run, I would have to say this is actually my favorite issue of that. Again, it shows Penguin as a villain, because guess what, audience? He's a villain,
So can we admit that Tom King just has weaknesses as a writer? But
that's how villains work. They're villains.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean that's not it for this issue. It's actually a jumbo-sized issue. There are some stories here dating back to like the early days of Penguin, and by early days I mean they just reprinted some classic Batman stories here. But they actually added an additional story by who else? Jason Aaron. I was like, oh damn. Okay. You see like Penguin, like he's having a flashback to him as a child, right? Him bringing roses to his classmate. Now, keep in mind, Oswald was never the most handsomest kid in school. Go figure, right, audience? Being the small kid.
That he wasn't an absolute snack.
Nope, not at all. He was the
What is this? What is this lies?
He was the small kid, the chubby kid, the one with the ridiculously beaky nose, and he comes up to this one girl with flowers, right? And these three girls are just laughing at him, saying because apparently they slipped him something in his locker room, saying that one of them wanted to date him. It turned out to be a prank by the girl's two other friends, and they're just looking at Oswald saying, like, "Oh my God, you actually thought she was interested in you?" Like, come on, that was a joke. Like, what would girls like us want anything to do with a guy like you? Like, damn, little grubby, you're like a grubby little penguin. Haha, Dan. Whatever. And then we flash back to modern times where, Penguin is in a limo with three girls that just happen to look like those girls from his school days, and they're all hookers. So who has the last laugh at the end of the day, audience?
Me, I get the last laugh.
Yeah. But I thought it would have been funny if these three hookers ended up being those three girls that humiliated Oswald back in his younger days, but apparently they're not. They're just his escorts as he goes into like a billionaire sort of like the Gotham underworld, right? Where guess what? Human trafficking is a thing there.
And
he just
say it ain't so.
I know, right? And Penguin just happens to find this one girl and this one woman in a cage in her, bra and panties, right? Of course, again, human trafficking here, audience. But Oswald kind of takes pity on her, and he buys her. Yeah, I know, sick audience. He buys her, but miraculously, he treats her kindly.
Hey, he's a villain. He's not a monster. There is a difference.
Even though,
well, then we'll see.
yeah. Even in this story, right? Oswald's drawn as if he was someone from the Addams family, man. Like he looks creepy as hell in this, But the girl wakes up. She's scared as to what Oswald's going to do to her, but he's like, "No, I'm not going to treat you like I'm a savage. Like I know what it's like to see pretty beings behind cages, and I just wanted to buy your freedom, So yeah, she ended up staying with Oswald by choice, miraculously. She kind of saw a little bit of good in Oswald, this and that,
Because he's not a monster. He's just a villain.
Yep. I mean, she found something nice in Oswald, even though she was somebody that's way out of his league. She's like, you know what? We can make this work, Oswald takes her. Yeah, Oswald takes her to a fancy dinner, like at a fancy restaurant. They're basically googly eyeing each other, this and that. And it comes up to a point where Oswald's finally about to say the words, Violet, I think I'm falling in love. But then he turns his head back as he hears one of the chefs at the restaurant laugh. Now, this is where it kind of jumps up to an extreme, right? Because, look, even Oswald mentions this. He's not entirely sure if the chef was laughing at him. I mean, he was just talking with another guy, but Oswald is interpreting that as the chef laughing at Oswald, But so what does Oswald do? He destroys this guy's life, Oh, damn. The next day, he buys a restaurant and has the guy fired. He does more information gathering on this guy. He has the church he goes to burned down. The park he goes to was bulldozed after Penguin bought it. He finds out that the chef was a recovering alcoholic. All right, so Penguin opens up a 24-hour liquor store by his apartment.
Bro, it's not that serious.
Dude. Like, guys, again, like, Penguin doesn't even know if the guy was actually laughing at him. Like, he was just literally in the corner just talking with another guy, and he was just laughing. That's it, you know? So, yeah. Eventually, he tortured this chef so much that the guy ended up hanging himself. Wow. Dude. So, as time went on, the woman Penguin freed, she goes scooping around his office and stuff, and, finds that Penguin has like a little book with all of his victims in it. The latest edition being a front page story about like the chef that just committed suicide, So I was like, damn. Oh, and you remember those girls that made fun of him early on in that story, from his high school days? Yeah, they make. He has a front page article on them too. Local schoolgirls, the victims of bizarre bird attacks.
Wonder where those birds came from.
I know, right? Which on prom night,
it's such a mystery. Like I could not tell you.
Yeah,
I'm the same guy who trained Batman's bats how to cinematically go through buildings and shit. So
yeah. So yeah, you actually do end up seeing what happened to those three girls. This was on prom night of all nights, where they come in, they're fully dressed, they have their makeup on and all that stuff, only to get their flesh scratched, sliced, and pierced by all these birds that just came randomly attacking them. It's like, damn.
You can't say that that's Oswald's fault or anything. I don't know what you're talking about. That was just some birds.
Exactly. And then you come back to the present as Violet, oh, she's packing up. She's getting the hell out of here. She's like, oh my god, this guy's a monster. Only for Penguin to come up and notice that, he comes in with flowers and everything, and he sees that she's trying to leave him. She's saying, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to kill me, Oswald. You're a freak. Or
she should have had known this from the start, right?
Yeah, but Oswald only showed. Yeah, but Oswald only showed her his good side, which that's the thing, So yeah, she only saw the good in Oswald, but now this is the bad. So yeah, well, to make a long story short, Oswald doesn't kill her, but he is reminded about that one time when he was caring for one of the birds in his roof, right? One of the birds ended up pecking his finger, and in a bit of rage, Oswald smashed that bird to pieces with a baseball bat. So he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that to his lover here. Instead, the issue ends with him bringing her back to that human trafficking ring.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Bye-bye, pretty bird. So, damn. Again, Oswald's a villain, audience, So
I just really feel like DC's missing a huge opportunity to just make a show that really captures how much of a piece of shit Penguin is.
I know. Like Jake, you ever see those situations where you see that one person who's sitting alone at the table, right, in a cafeteria? Nobody wants to be next to them or anything like that. Then you're like, oh, okay, let's bring that kid over. Let's have him sit next to us. Then you find out, oh god, no, there's a good reason why this guy's alone.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me before. Mm-hmm. That's happened to me before. It's like you try to be nice, but sometimes that's no.
You've tried doing stuff that Penguin did, which
no, I was trying to be nice to the kid who no one wanted to hang out with because we happened to sit next to each other in class, and then I found out how awful of a person he was. So I was like, you know what, I'm dipping out of this.
Which is trying to be a victim of Penguin.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't live in Gotham. And I don't plan on doing that. I don't plan on being in this situation.
Oh God, yeah, definitely. Especially when you're working for someone like Penguin, you know. But hey, in an era of villains turning anti-heroes and sympathetic villains, it's just nice to have some good old classic villain stories, you know, audience. Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
I guess some people from this modern generation can't handle that, you know, seeing a villain be a villain, you know. So yeah, that's it for the Penguin audience. So all right, Ian. Guess with that we can move on. Jake, you do this one
All right,
because you
yeah.
get.
And take your time, please.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong tab.
Yeah, let me do it
Oh,
for you.
okay, thank you. Okay, guys, we have been building up to this for a while, and it is now time to go into the second Bionicle movie, Bionicle 2, Legends of Metru Nui. And I was very excited.
Woo!
Thank you. I was very excited because I was like, you know what? This is a long book. I can't wait to finish this movie. I'll just be done with the book. No, I checked. The movie ends, and where it ends in the book, there's still like 10 more chapters left. So,
Wow.
I was like, okay. But anyway, this is Bionicle 2, City of Legends of Metru Nui. This takes place during the City of Legends arc in the books. This stars a new team of Toa, the Toa Metru, as they learn what it means to become heroes and also uncover a conspiracy that threatens to destroy the island as a whole. One of the biggest differences between this movie also is how the Toa and the Bionicle themselves are stylized. I don't know if you remember when I reviewed Mask of Light, there was a lot more emphasis on the organic features of the Bionicle over the mechanical parts. But I actually have a comparison here. So this is the toy version of the Bionicle, the Toa Metru. And when we go back to the movie version, they look like this. I kind of want your opinions real quick. What did you think about these redesigns? These of the characters.
Can I see the first? Can I see the originals?
Yeah. So this is the toys. This is what they look like.
Toys. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, this is the movie versions.
When did this come out?
Yeah.
2003? No, 2002. It had to be 2002.
I mean, it shows that it's from the early 2000s.
Yeah, Jake, it's almost like they adjusted them just enough for the movies to create a whole different line of toys for them, right? Right, you know.
From my understanding, they did not sell these figures as toys. I think these were custom. From my understanding, I could be wrong.
Okay.
The marketing you got were these. They made 6 different commercials for these toys, and they made ones for the villain sets and everything. It was these toys, so you know that's what it is. In terms of how the plot goes, so I already told you. So the movie, I'm not gonna go do beat for beat, but the movie does open up with the last of the Toa Metru before the new batch, Toa Likan. And he's passing off the Toa stones to the next generation. When he is beaten by shadow hunters, Nadiki and Kreka, and leaving the last Toa he recruited, Vakama, kind of traumatized. He's like, "This is my fault." He got captured and died because of me. Then we got the long ass montage I've been reviewing for like 3 to 5 weeks, and now we're at the movie. The Toa have, gathered their strength. So if you guys remember, the whole point of the montage was the Toa earning their stripes and proving to them that they're the heroes of Metru Nui, that they should be. And they go to the arena and they present the disc that they fought so hard for. And Taraka Duma, who's like, in charge of the island, and the whole island as a whole, Taraka Duma looks at this and he's like, that's nice and all, but you ain't Toa though. They're like, what? So, it was like, imagine basically you grind up to level 99 in a video game. They say you're not a high enough level to be like a good player. That's basically what they were just told. The Toa Metru wound up getting betrayed and split into 2 groups. And this is where the movie kind of diverges. This is mostly Vakama, the Toa Fires movie. This is about him. He gets these weird visions, which get elaborated on further in the books. In the book version, let's just say that the movie is made more so if you want to watch this movie by itself. Okay, you don't have to read the books to understand what is happening because it is tailor adjusted for people who don't understand the lore.
But the real question is, Jake, do you understand the lore?
Yeah, well, when I was a little kid, I didn't really think about I didn't even, like I said, I didn't know that the montage bit was such a big part of their character journeys. I didn't even know what the whole story was. So you don't really need it to enjoy it. I would say that the book adds so much more details, like the foreshadowing that I will get into as I keep reviewing these. But we actually get an early introduction to a villain type from the next year's line called the Viscerac. Which I'm excited to get to, but it was just things like that. There were like these little touches that like make the story feel more complete than what the movie has. I would say I think that's and I think in terms of the movie itself, I think where the movie shines, where the movie really shines though is that you not needing that information to enjoy it. You can still enjoy these characters. The voice actors behind each role does a phenomenal job. I mean, Vakama's voice actor especially, he really does play the leader who's questioning himself every step of the way. He's not really trying to be the leader, but he keeps getting put in this situation, and every time he gets put in a leadership position, his ideas wind up being so crazy that like the rest of the team kind of doubts him. And I liked how the voice actor is able to portray that. And when Vakama does gain his confidence by the end of the movie, you feel that confidence like in his chest. Like he is able to switch from like, I don't know what I'm doing to like no, we're doing this now. This is the plan. Like I really did appreciate that. In terms of like standout Toa, I guess Mattel because he's the funny one. In the books, Onua is the funnier one. I mean, Mattel has his moments, but it's really like Onua who's kind of the smartass. And that's played up in the movie, but it's not to the degree it was in the books. Mattel, on the other hand, is highly enjoyable for me. For start to finish, she has a very fun voice, very fun mannerisms, and I think I also liked his mask powers as well. That's also something I should bring up too. This wasn't introduced in the books yet until they got to the movie portion. But in addition to having elemental powers, which the movie doesn't show, the Toa have mask powers, special abilities. Now, these weren't really shown in the Toa Nuva saga, because the Toa Nuva all shared the same powers. But the Toa Metru's mask powers are all unique unto themselves. So, and this movie kind of highlights some of them. Some are greater than others. For instance, Vakama has the mask of invisibility, self-explanatory. Mattel has the mask of shape-shifting. Nokama has a mask of translating, but then you have some where I'm like, these are kind of shitty powers. Like, one of them is literally just a flashlight. I was like,
wow.
You got the shit out of the deal here. Another one, that's Onua's powers. Onua's powers is actually mind control, telepathy, telekinesis as well. And I thought those were cool. I think my only problem with the mask powers is they only serve, because there's 6 characters in such a short film, they serve the purpose of the scene, and that's really it. Once the Toa have used their mask powers, it's kind of done. Like there's no reason to even use it anymore. And I know there's going to be a problem for the next film because there's going to be a problem for the next film too, because in the next film we're going to be dealing with the Toa getting new powers, so we don't really get a lot of time to really like ingratiate ourselves with the powers that we have now. I think another problem I have, and this is not a problem in the book, I actually had to read this. I made sure that even if I didn't finish the book up to this point, I had to read this part. The final battle in the movie is stupid.
Also, we got a comment, by the way, if anyone's curious.
One of my coworkers, like you talking about Bionicle, shout out to them. You're awesome. Bionicle is awesome as well. So the final battle in the movie is stupid. Basically, skip a bunch of stuff. Totally Khan officially dies in the film. I don't mean like a fake kid's death because back then, I mean like he dies. Okay. Vakama unlocks his mass power, which is to turn invisible, but this is for the first time. And Makuta, who he's fighting, Makuta is the big bad, the devil. Basically, he's like the Lord of Shadow. Okay.
Lord of Shadows. I know that game. Those games are not training games. I'm sorry to tell you.
Makuta's has this power in the movie where he can shoot out a giant shadow hand from his chest. Okay. Vakama turns invisible. His plan is to turn invisible, keep Makuta, trick Makuta into believing he's somewhere that he's not. And Makuta attacks that place, but this idiot, so basically Vakama stands in front of a stone pillar, okay? He's invisible. He knocks the pillar to get Makuta's attention. Makuta reaches out to grab Vakama, grabbing the pillar instead. And instead of letting the pillar go, he slams the pillar into his face, okay? He does this 4 times. It's really dumb. It's basically like Vakama just playing a game of stop hitting yourself with the devil. It's really annoying. In the book, though, I had to read this because there's no way they wrote this in the book. They did not. Instead, what they said was Vakama turns invisible and tries to make Makuta waste his energy. So Makuta, instead of just waiting for Vakama, he's basically shooting out his energy like a machine gun, trying to get him, but he just can't find him, basically. And he actually does manage to hit Vakama once, which I thought makes him a lot more credible. I think the book version handles this fight better than the movie version. I think the movie version is kind of dumb. But at the end of the day, it all culminates with, as usual, the Toa come together at the end. They combine their powers and they seal the villain away. Again, not as intense as the Boracal fight from book 2, but it's serviceable. It's fine. So we're at the end of the day. There are some huge ramifications of this movie that I have to address when I come back to the book next week. Because of the Makuta's plot was basically that he wanted the Mask of Time he wanted Vakama to make the Mask of Time. So he had a device where he could freeze time and put essentially everyone in the island in a coma. So he could take over and make them, when they wake up, they will serve him. He could control the destinies of everyone at once, essentially. This means by the end of the movie, he doesn't succeed in doing that part, but he does succeed in putting most of the Matoran in a fucking coma. Basically, their minds have been wiped. So any Matoran that was sealed away, their minds have seemingly been wiped, which is why the Matoran in the present day in the Toa Nuva saga, they don't remember anything from Toa Metru. They're like, I don't remember any of this. Why are you, what? They got their minds basically rebooted by Makuta, and if it wasn't for the Toa Metru, they would have served the Makuta, essentially. Evil shit. Also, because of Makuta's recklessness, the Oni Metro archives are free. So basically, the island has been overrun with a bunch of fucking monsters. Basically, all the Rahi beasts have just infected the whole island. So the Toa Metru can't live there anymore. None of the Metro Matorans can live there. So their goal now is to leave Metro Nui and make their way to they don't know it yet, but they will eventually get to the island of Matanui.
Finally. My God.
Yeah. So,
we've been hanging out at Metro Nui for too long, Jake.
Well, we're going to have to go back for one more time. But but then we get to my favorite arc. Okay, I'm only doing this so I can get to my favorite arc in Bionicle ever. So we're going to get to that. But yeah, those are the huge ramifications of the book, basically. When we come back next week, we'll be dealing with the last 10 chapters of the book, which is basically a sea voyage from Metro Nui to Matanui. Basically, if you want to see that whole trip, that's all that is. That's all the book is. This is basically the trip there and back. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I think I like it more than the first one. I think it's a better plot. I think focusing the movie on the Toa was better than Bionicle 1, which focused a lot on Takua, who would eventually be Takanova. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I watched the first movie as a kid, I was way more interested in what the Toa were than Takua himself. But in this movie, if you want more Toa action, you get it here. Although you are.
It's a movie compared to a book.
Right. Yeah, and the book so far is better. but the movie itself is it's really good. The musical scores in the first 3 Bionicle movies, fantastic. God tier, love them. The animation is also fun as well. I like the attention to sound detail. When the Toa move, it really feels like you're listening to like robots, like mechanical robots move. I liked all that. And again, the ability to immerse the viewer into the world of the Bionicle, fantastic. That for so far, that's been the best part about any Bionicle story. You just feel like you're in this world. And they don't have to rely on humans or anything relatable to our society to do it. You just understand this is an alien society, and you can ingratiate yourself into it. So, I would rate this a 7 out of 10. I think once you've seen it the first time, its rewatchability kind of goes down because it's kind of like a slowish burn a little bit. But it is a fun thing. Actually, no, I would say if you are a Bionicle fan, I'd say even if you aren't, I would try this movie to see if it can get you into it. More so than the first movie. I think this is a better entry point than what the first movie was. So, but yeah, next week, we will be doing the Island Voyage to Matsunui, and then after that, we will be going back to Metru Nui to the darkest chapter in the Metru Nui saga. So there we go.
I have a question, Jake, before we move on. Are there any other places in the Bionicle universe that aren't Montanui and Metru Nui?
Yes, but that's why I have to get through this part to get there. There's like
Okay. I just thought I'd ask before, I'm just
there are 3 other islands I have not got to. And
okay, 3 other islands. Okay, thank you for
listening. We also have to get to.
We got to get there first, besties.
We gotta get through Metru Nui, and then we get to the next 2 islands, which both were amazing. But we'll get there. So
of course. Anyways, are y'all ready to go to school?
Yeah.
Already.
Okay. See you later, Cryptid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, audience, I'm here to talk about 2 issues of Marvel Voices Avengers Academy, issue 19 and 20. Jake, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like I gotta strap in. This is gonna be an Avengers-tastic story.
I mean, technically, yes. Okay, so this issue is called Serpent of the Garden, and if you weren't here for the last time I talked about Avengers Academy, you would have not known that the character of Emplate, who, if you don't know who Emplate is, I'm not going to blame you because I technically didn't know who Emplate was until this book as well. But if you know X-Men lore and you know who Penance is, he is Penance's brother, by the way, who is kind of evil. And so what he did was he went to the school and infected the rest of the student body of the Avengers Academy, which in this case is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Red Goblin, and Aaron Fisher, Captain America. Or Captain America of the Railways specifically. I have to be specific or else someone is going to murder me. I'm not going to name names, but if you know, you know. Anyways, so, Emplate did that, and now he's chilling out at the school. So basically, due to a certain cat portal, basically the rest of the gang pulls back up to the school, And don't worry, homies. We're all vibing, Justin's like, I'm going to go take a bath because I smell like an evil barn. Remember that for later, And Escapade and Bloodline, or Brielle and Sheila specifically, they basically are just going to chill out at the front of the school. While we had 2 Avengers Academy alumni, they went to go do whatever the hell they want. And if you don't know which Avengers Academy alumni, if you know Avengers Academy, the original one, you'll figure it out. Anyways, so basically, while everyone's gone, Brielle and Sheila are just chilling out at the front of the school in front of a statue that looks oddly familiar. Now that I really think about it, it kind of looks like the memorial statue that was made for Marvel when he died. I don't know. I might be reaching over here. I might be reaching all the way to Metru Nui, right? Right, Jake?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, just maybe. I'll send a screenshot later, but regardless. So basically, they're just chilling, and Brielle's like, okay, something's wrong. Something is here. And guess what? Guess who's here, Jake?
Who?
Emplate. Who else would be here? I wish it was Carol, you know, because she's supposed to be like looking after these kiddos. But no, it's Emplate. You know, he's like, ooh, something's slipping under the soil. Did you know that? Like, this is Slay. And so they're like, ah, shit, not Emplate. And so basically, Emplate goes to attack Brielle. And she's like, God fucking damn it. And obviously, Sheila, she's still weakened from all the Emplate endeavors. She's like, I'm just gonna, like, what? I'm just gonna be a damsel for a little bit. Anyway, so we cut outside. We go to outside the Savage Land Labs at the Avengers Academy with our 2 alumni. You know, with Jen and also Ken, which I know they rhyme. Oh my God, Jake, thoughts on rhyming names?
Rhyming names are always fun to say.
Yeah, so it's Hazmat and Metal. I think I just remember their names. Their aliases specifically, you know. And you know, they're having a cute couple moment while also Metal just like, you know, going through his literal PTSD because like damn. You know, I Googled him after learning about him, and I was like, you have gone through the ringer and back, bestie. But don't worry, before they can even do any cute couple shit, you know, I'm calling them the Infected because why not? So, Infected, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, and Red Goblin pull up. And so, obviously, Hazmat goes into superhero mode. You know? Obviously, she don't want to hurt the children, but at the same time, she got to defend herself, you know? Like, these are superpowered children who also are being controlled by an evil mutant named Emplate. Anyways, before we can go to that, so we see Justin, you know, singing some tunes while taking a bath with a Captain America rubber ducky. You know what? Now I know what I'm getting cryptid for Christmas. It's a Captain America rubber ducky. Jake, thoughts on that?
A Captain America rubber ducky for him. I think you should get a Captain America rubber eagle. I think that would be what you would appreciate more.
If they made them, yeah. But regardless, so Justin's just chilling and we see an ominous silhouette of a person with a very weird shaped arm because there's a weird circle around it. I think you should get that checked out, my guy. So can you change to the next picture? I was shook when I first saw this. I was not expecting this, but I expected it at the same time. Yeah, that's the picture. So if you guys forgot, Emplate is controlling Aaron right now. So he is not doing this out of his own free will. So, you know, he's trying his best to convince Justin to like join Emplate's side or whatever, because we all know about Aaron's crush on, you know, Justin's one-sided crush on Aaron. But it's like, you know, like, God damn it. You know, before. And so Justin's like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. Like, Aaron, something's wrong with you, man. We got to go get you fixed out. And so, like, Aaron, like I said, being under Emplate's control, it attacks him. Keep in mind, I feel like I should preface this. Justin was in the bath, so he wasn't completely in the nude during this entire sequence. Yeah, fun fact. Also, the poor Captain America rubber ducky fell on the floor when Aaron knocked over the tub. I don't know why Justin couldn't just take a shower. I don't know why he had a specific bathtub that you could tip over so easily, but you know what? I'm not here to like do anything. Anyways, we gotta cut back to Brielle and Emplate fighting. You know? And she, you know, she's doing her best. Keep in mind, he ain't like no vampire or normal night creature, you know? So, and even Emplate's like, yeah, no, thanks to Sheila's powers, what's mine is yours, Miss Brooks, you know? But your usual vampire tricks won't work on me, because like I said, he ain't a vampire. So basically, Brielle's about to stake him in the heart, right? As you do. But guess what? Emplate switches it back around and stabs her. I'm trying to remember, what picture did I send you? What picture did I send? I remember what picture I sent now. Okay, never mind. Ah, crap. I have to scroll back.
Without your say so. I'm going off your pace. All right.
I know. I went to my photos and I forgot to delete the photos beforehand. But regardless, so Brielle gets stabbed with the stake that Valkyrie gave her from a couple issues ago by Emplate, and obviously like she was like, ah, shit. And so she's like, I am not dealing with this shit anymore. And so we see behind her, I feel like I should preface this. We see this pink figure behind her, this like with long hair, right? And so Sheila's like, I am done with your bullshit. I'm going to use my powers tenfold, with the help of this lady, this pink friend. If you don't remember who she is, she appeared in one of the earlier issues. She hung out with Justin for a while. She was the one who warned Justin about all this. Basically, what occurred, they able to let action from everyone. Basically, God, Sheila went God mode. That's all I'm gonna say. She goes to Aaron and Justin, who are kind of fighting in the fucking showers or whatever. Basically, borrows their powers for a little bit because remember they both have powers. She goes over to Lunella, Devil, and also Normie. Borrows their powers for a little bit. Also gets Brielle's powers and her wound. I feel like I should preface that. And can you switch to the next page? She bore all this pain and love, and then she became a god. God mode, Sheila. I think this was cool. This shook me. This shook me to my core the first time. I was like, what? I mean, it vibes. It kind of is like Valkyrie vibes. You're right. You're right about that. And then she's like, go back to the pit of hell, demon, And so I wish I would have sent this to you, but I was like kind of in a hurry to send all these pictures. Hence no Ultimate X-Men pictures. But I remember reading this, and basically it's M-Plate just like trying to like stay on the ground. And this is what he says verbatim. He says, please, I'll behave. I'm like, what do you mean about that? What are you talking about? But anyways, yeah. So basically, she goes God mode. But we cut over to Lunella apologizing, being like, yeah, sorry for trying to bite you. And Jen is like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm used to classmates going feral. Like, you should have seen Stryker when I used his hair dye. Ooh. So we cut over and then afterwards we cut over to Justin and Aaron, which Aaron is finally out of that mess. And he's like, yo, isn't this where we first met? Like, is this a dream? And Justin's like, yeah, just a nightmare, dude. Let me tuck you in. Keep in mind, like I said, Justin is still fully butt-ass naked in this. So, I mean, that wouldn't be the first time this happened, but, Anyways, so after Sheila went God mode, she's being held by Brielle and whatever's, and she's like, did it work? And Brielle's like, yeah, you did it, like, we gotta go get you some medical attention, but don't worry. I mean, what is happening to M-Plate? I wonder what's happening, And he's like, I gotta feed, like, find something to hold on to. And while he's like looking crusty as hell, I just saved this like panel. Basically, it's him looking crusty with like these weird ghost hands while Brielle and Sheila are making out in the courtyard, as you do. Would you do the same thing, Jake, in their situation?
PDA, probably not.
But like to piss off the guy who was basically torturing you, would you do that?
I would do something more violent than making out, I guess, but
Keep in mind, Sheila did take Brielle's pain, so she is currently in pain after going God mode. So just remember that. Okay. Anyways, they have their cute couple moment, and M-Plate is like, very well, Justice once for love. Farewell, Sheila Sexton. While we live, we hope. I wish you more life. And gets dragged to hell. Oh, and don't forget it, the Happy Halloween, because this came out the same week as Halloween. But we cut over to the medical ward, where a certain stretchy doctor, I don't know why he's playing doctor over here instead of, the actual doctors. If you don't know who I'm talking about Reed Richards. He's attending to Sheila's wounds.
The fraud? Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's like you could have had D. Stranger. You could have had anyone else. I think Dr. Michael Tuyogman ain't doing much at the moment. You could have pulled him out of jail for 5 minutes to, look after the kids for a little bit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Or, Doctor Strange has pulled up in this book before. Like you could ask him to be like, hey, can you help out with medical stuff? But anyways, so Reed is like, yeah, she pushed herself too far, but luckily, the stake missed any major organ, so she'll live. She just needs some time to rest. And don't worry, that's where the fairy tale starts, because we got to cut back to the Midnight Chapel. And I need to give some quick context. So a while ago, there was a Marvel Unlimited Infinity comic with the Young Avengers with like some weird like paradox stuff. Okay, you got that, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you to have that context beforehand.
Okay.
And there was a story with Billy and Tommy, right? I can't tell you if it's Maximoff or Kaplan and Shepard, but all you need to know is that the time, like the paradox, Billy and Tommy are here. So basically, they're running over to the Midnight Chapel, you know, and we see this one Doom-looking person, which I don't think it's actually Dr. Doom, but it looks like Dr. Doom, and McCran. You know, they're just watching over these two kids, you know, and the Doom person is like, yeah, they've arrived. It's starting. This is how it begins. And McCran's like, shh, let the fawn stumble in the snow. And so Tommy and Billy go inside the you know, the chapel, and Tommy's like, but it's empty. It's abandoned. Maybe we can hide here at least for a little while. You know, Billy's like, it's no use. He'd find us anyway, Tommy. Like, he's always one step behind. Somewhere out there, Mr. Fisto is coming. Mephisto is here. And before anyone's like, oh, please hope for no MCU synergy, this came out like the original, like, Marvel Unlimited, Young Avengers Paradox stuff, you know, that came out before anything happening with MCU with Billy. Okay, does that make sense? But don't worry, Mephisto is always one step ahead, you know. But anyways, so we have to go to the next issue. Oh my god, hold on, I have to go specifically to the issue. Okay, cool. So now, can you cut to the next picture, por favor? Thank you. This is a more lighthearted issue, guys. Don't worry, I'll try to make this quick.
All right, it was getting kind of bleak for a second.
I know, I was getting kind of bleak. I mean, it's gonna still be kind of bleak, but you know, we're starting to get back into like a more fun mood, like how we were at the beginning of the series, you know. So this is Marvel Voices Avengers Academy issue 20, Broken Things, and we start off with Lunella being her own narrator, and she's like, "My name is Lunella Lafayette. I am Moon Girl. I fix broken things and make them better." You know, that's kind of her thing, okay? And so she's fixing up this robot arm, and you know, remember from a couple issues ago in issue 7 where Lunella and Justin meet up with some robot versions of two specific characters? Do you remember that at Coney Island?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you switch to the next picture, please?
Okay. Then...
So Lunella actually went back and grabbed these robots and basically fixed them up, and now we have Mr. Terry over here. With certain X-Men that we know. I wonder who it could be. It's Colossus, by the way. He looks like Colossus. I don't know what to tell you guys. Austin, if you're watching this, you should have known better.
You should have. Honestly,
you should have known better. I'm just saying.
I'm disappointed that Austin didn't know. I'm disappointed that he was so confused he could not tell that was Colossus, honestly.
I know, right? Like, it's like right there. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Couldn't
he looked like an extra commie Colossus. I don't know what you want. Sure. Anyways, so while he's just like vibing with his communism and antics, Lunella is working on fixing another robot. It's okay if you don't know who this other robot is. I'll tell you later. And so, yeah, we see a head of another robot from that body, from the other body. I'll tell you who it is later. But don't worry, we see Devil Dinosaur hanging out on a cliff, you know, and Metal. He's like, "Hey, buddy, looks great out there, doesn't it?" You know, and basically he goes surfing for the first time in God knows how long. You know, and obviously he's going to be a little rusty at it because, you know, basically he wasn't able to go surfing for a long ass time, you know, which sucked because Norman Osborn trapped him in his metal form, so he wasn't able to go surfing like he used to, which that was something from the original Avengers Academy run if you were interested. Anyways, yeah, so we just see Metal just floating around in the water and drifting to shore. You know, and so Devil Dinosaur goes to check up on him, you know, because that's what you do when you're a giant red dinosaur in the modern era. You go check with your homies, you know. And Metal's like, yeah, even here there's garbage in the water. How is that even possible? Lots of them are jetsam or whatever, beach trash, you know. Anyways, all washed up. And so basically, Hazmat goes to Carol, and you know, she's like, hey, I'm a little worried about Metal. You know, Norman Osborn tortured him, disfigured him, you know. The Avengers thought he would be a supervillain, but he didn't turn out that way. You know, he worked really hard to be a hero. And guess what? Arcade killed him. You know, he just like snapped his fingers or whatever and then killed him. Even though he tried so hard to be a good guy, you know? He was teddy bear, but metal. There you go. Like, he didn't to rest. He just loaded. And then with the shit with Emperor. They changed.
Wait, you're breaking up a bit?
Huh?
You're breaking up a bit?
Am I?
Oh, well, now you're back. So.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm just like stumbling over my words. I was just saying that in this specific issue with the art, they changed up M Plate's hair texture.
How we feel about it?
I don't fuck with the straight hair, man. Like, I give him his texture back. You are not Monet.
It's true.
You are not Monet. You are not your sister. Obviously, for obvious reasons. Anyways, and she's like, how does someone come back from that? You know, like, he has trauma that not even a normal therapist could figure out, you know? Like, he's gone through the ringer. Thanks, Norman Osborn. So that's 2 Avengers Academy members that have been fucked over by Norman Osborn. You know? One was Metal, who was stuck in his metal form for God knows how long, and the other one was born into Norman Osborn's family. They should bond over that.
Spider-Man says in the chat, I can relate.
Exactly. Anyways, Carol's like, maybe we do what he did for you. Like, you know, we ride out the waves. And so basically we cut back over to Metal. He's actually being able to ride the waves. You know, he's having a good time. But he panicked a little bit and he fell off his board, and then he slowly turned into his metal form while he was going down in the water. You know? But guess what? Dumbledore was worried. He scurried over to where Lunella and Tyrion is, who I'm gonna stay from now on. Because duh. He's like, you know, the water. Obviously double talk, but we can figure it out. You know? But Moon Girl and Dumbledore, they go to the rest, you know. And she's like, I didn't have to have my gadget saying heavy, even for Devil. Like, but I got some ice blood from tentacles, so knowing how water works, I'm gonna freeze him and he's gonna float to the top. That's basically how water works. Okay? Fun fact. You turn a liquid into a solid, it's gonna float up. Probably. So that's what she does, and that's what happens. He floats to the top. You know? And so basically, remember earlier when I said that Lunella was fixing up another robot? Well, the other robot in question was Robot Arcade. And so when Metal wakes up, he's obviously like freaked the fuck out, because if you remember about their relationship, it did not end well. You know? And so basically Metal goes to attack the Robo Arcade. And so Carol's like, Lunella, what's the meaning of this? And Lunella's like, yeah, we got them at Coney Island. It's just a robot. Like, it's just a robot. And Metal's like, it's always just another robot, another fake. Until another psych out pulls up all of a sudden and it's real and you're dead. And so Hazmat blows up on Lunella, and she's obviously kind of, you know, she's upset because she didn't know all of this, you know. And so Metal is having like a bit of like a panic attack over here, you know, like because like he just saw a robot version of the person who basically murdered him. And so Carol's like trying to be like, okay, he just needs a break. I'll stay with him. Like, Jen, you go check up on Lunella. And she's like, yeah, I know. I always got to do what I got to do. Clean up my own damn mess. And so Lunella's kind of upset because obviously she didn't know, you know. Like, obviously, Jake, like, would you be upset if people blew up on you for something that you didn't know affected them?
Depends on the situation, but
like if you were Lunella in this situation, would you be a little bit upset?
A little bit.
Okay, so basically, Lunella.
Hello?
Don't get cute. And Lunella is like, I'm sorry too. I just don't understand. It's not the real arcade, you know? And Jen is like, okay, you're young. You think it can all be fixed, but some symbols, some stuff, you know, like, it's just a little too radioactive, you know? And Lunella's like, and we can never save them. And so basically Terry covers up Robo Arcade, you know, and is like, rest is the right of every worker, comrade. You know, covers him up. So Carol sits on top of like this like board thing, you know, like this table thing, while Metal is underneath it because, you know, he doesn't want to see Arcade, robot or otherwise, you know. And he's like, I can't stay here. I'm too broken. I'll never be fixed, you know. And Carol's like, I'll never be okay again. She's like, trust. I've been through it. I understand. If you know anything about Carol, you get it, you know. She's like, when my dad would scream and break stuff, when Rogue basically stole my everything, you know, when I hit rock bottom, you know, and all that other stuff with Michael Korvac, when it started, you know. And it's like, you know, she's kind of trying to relate to Metal in this way. She's like, trust me, I've been through it, you know, apocalypse keeps coming, but you still like, I don't know, you know, you gotta keep riding the waves, you know. But that means your story's not over, bestie. Not if you don't want it to be. Trust me, we all got time. I don't need you to be a hero anytime soon. I just need you to be safe and to heal. So, we can always use a male RA. You know, Justin kept asking me about stuff, and I'm just like, stuff that I don't want to answer. So, I think you can probably help out with that a little bit. Hey, Justin's learning a lot about himself in these past couple issues, okay? You gotta give him some time. But anyways, guess who comes back? Jake, guess who comes back?
My soul.
That, and also Hazmat and Lunella pull up, and Jen is like, okay, Lunella wants to talk to you, kid, don't freak out. And Lunella's like, oh, I thought about it, and maybe it was just me being proud, and people are more important than things, and I think it matters what we try to save sometimes, you know. And she's like, I will destroy this thing if you want me to. And somehow she just has a bat. She has a bat. And she's like, I will destroy this thing if you want me to. Like, trust. And Metal's like, okay. Can I hold this bat real quick? And obviously, like, Robo Arcade is going to say stuff that he was programmed with, okay? And so Metal's like, you're not so big. After all that, you're not so big. And Metal's like, you know what? Okay, I have a better idea. Can you switch to the next picture, por favor?
It's por favor. Okay.
Por favor.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. So basically, Metal decides, Robo Arcade is just gonna clean up all the trash on the beach. You know? So yeah, greetings, beach litter. Prepare to be captured and tortured and sustainably reused building materials. Ha 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 ha. You know? And so while he's doing that, we see Terry over here kissing his robo muscles, because that's what you do when you're Kami Colossus. Even more Kami Colossus than normal. Even more than normal. So we see Jen and Carol just chilling out on their, you know, their beach towels. And Metal and Lunella, you know, they're gonna ride the waves. And I like how they both have themed surfboards. Metal has a red one with like a little black skull on there, and Lunella has the moon phases, which makes sense because her name is Lunella. Okay. And so Devil Dinosaur, you know what he's doing? You don't want to know what he's doing? What? He's basically playing with a giant beach ball on his snoot. And yeah, that's where the issue ends. What was your thoughts on that, Jake?
It seemed like a fun issue. Like I said, Avengers Academy doesn't seem like it'll be my thing to read, but it seems like it would be fun. So, you know, for people who are into it. So,
yeah, did you like the second double feature in a row?
Yeah, that was fun.
We needed the double features, I guess to say. But you know what? I'll let you know what happens next time. I think it's either going to be something about the Paradox, Billy, and Tommy, or it's going to be another chill issue. Chill issue-ish. There you go. So, place your bets on what you think the next issue is going to be about, audience. Let us know. But anyways, I'm done with my topics for the night. Cryptid, come back.
All right.
Also, I have a quick question.
So, huh? What was that?
No, it's time for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, but you didn't answer. You want a Captain America rubber ducky.
Oh yeah, did you?
You want one?
Nah.
Okay.
All right, let's just move on to the next. Let's just move on to the next book. All right, guys. Now we're going on to the next book, and I'm going to be doing this one. Amazing Spider-Man number 60, audience.
I kind of fuck with the cover.
Yep. The second to last
one. That is good.
Yep. Oh man, this was the second to last one my comic book shop had, and you know dang well stuff like this sells after all. But I kind of like the additional humor here, right? It's actually between Black Cat and MJ, where like of course, Black Cat is front and center saying "You're welcome," and then you have Mary Jane, still has Jackpot in her costume in the back saying, "Hey, they can't even see me back here." Well, yeah, that kind of is the point, So.
Yeah, I think it's a reference to like how a lot of older comics would do their covers, would they have text on it?
Yeah,
little fun tidbit.
We had this discussion about that in my comic book shop once. Like, back in the day, there used to be text bubbles in the cover of comics, but I guess some artists these days wouldn't like their cover art to be masquerade with text bubbles.
I mean, for me personally, I guess it like depends on the cover.
Yeah.
It all depends.
It would. And again, in this situation, I kind of like the meta joke because the staff is very much aware as to what the reception is to MJ as a Jackpot at this point. I still have yet to meet anybody who actually likes this route of MJ. Like, again, it was a good concept in the beginning. The costume, I see what they're going for, but come on, does anybody backing this up at this point? So yeah. All right. So audience, this is the finale to Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run. So
audience, finally.
Yeah, and which honestly you could definitely tell he was forced to wrap a lot of stuff up in this book because one,
it's such a loved run. Why would they make him do that?
Yeah. I mean, look at it this way, right? This was a jumbo size issue, man, and they had like let me look. They had like 5 different stories, right? And with those jumbo size issues, like you get 5 different writers to write their own short story. Well, in here, all of them were written by Zeb Wells, with the last one being by the upcoming Spider-Man writer, the one who's going to do the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, That was the only exception. The other stories, they were all written by Zeb Wells. So you're like, God damn, man. Yeah. Try telling me your run was coming to its natural end, This was your original ending point. Yep. But anyway, the issue kind of opens up with like, the courthouse where Tombstone gets freed. And he kind of taunts Peter a bit, saying like, hey, I want you to tell Spider-Man something. I want you to tell him that he did everything right. He got me to jail. He got the evidence against me. He did everything by the book. Like, he was perfect. But I bribed the judge, so I'm out. So yeah. Let him know that. Yeah. So rubbing in your face. So yeah. Then you get like some moments between between Spider-Man and Aunt May, because like I completely forgot that this whole run started with Aunt May being disappointed at Peter Parker. Remember that, audience? When the whole world hated him, where everybody close to Peter were disappointed by what he did,
I guess.
Yeah, you don't remember that? Like, where there was a huge crater in New York and everybody blamed Peter for it, apparently?
Why would they blame Spider-Man for that? That makes no goddamn sense.
Well, there was a reason, but then when you found out what it was like, oh. That's very
yeah. You guys remember when even the Fantastic Four, they're like, Peter, we never want to see you back in the Baxter Building out of what you did. And when he found out what he did, you're like, actually, no, Peter had every good reason to do that. What he did, like I don't see why you Fantastic Four would be so harsh on Peter for that.
Are you saying he gets the spacesuit? What's up with that?
Yeah, that made it even worse, Jake, when the Fantastic Four pretty much did the exact same thing Peter did a couple in their run, So, of course, you get like this monologue between Aunt May and Spider-Man after where Aunt May's like saying, Spider-Man, please stop involving Peter in your escapades. You're what's ruining Peter's life, this and that,
I haven't heard that one.
And yeah, and some Takano Jutsu happened, and Aunt May ends up going back to Peter, and apparently their relationship is fixed, this and that, So yeah, that was one loose end cut up, and we get the other story. Let me see how many stories Zebo had to make. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stories in this book, So apparently, the next story, Peter and MJ, they get back from stopping a bad guy, and this is kind of like a lot. It gave me a chuckle at least, where normally it's Peter who has to rush in to put his clothes back on to get back to his date with somebody. Well, now MJ's with him as they're both rushing to get their clothes back on to go meet up with their double dates. Apparently. They decided,
on the way in, MJ is like, you know what? I get it now. I'm sorry.
Their dates being Paul and whatever the hell that other woman's name is, the one that works at Ravencroft.
None of them matter, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So yeah, they come back. They come to the restaurant late, and the girl's like, oh, Peter, MJ, it's okay. Paul made me understand that there was like some traffic jam or whatever. And MJ's like, oh, of course he did. Paul's such a wonderful guy,
Time out. There's a traffic jam for one of you. You both came in at the same time. That's not a little bit like, okay, what's going on? I'm not saying that's all like, you're a superhero, but maybe like, hey, Paul, I don't mean to be mean, bro, but I think cheat on us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha. But unfortunately, the moral of that story is, Jake, is that, even though Zebul is gone, Paul and MJ, they're still going to be a thing. So, oh, damn.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I hear some people suggesting that maybe Paul is going to end up leaving MJ for Peter's girlfriend right now. Again, I don't even bother remembering her name because that's how irrelevant she is.
She's irrelevant because we're getting Black Cat and Peter, which we should have gotten before, but it's too late
now. Yeah. Audience, as much as y'all want to see MJ dump Paul, I think the end result will be Paul dumping MJ. So. Yeah.
I just can't take you being a superhero all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. And you get some more stories like, Spider-Man spending time with Wolverine on his birthday. You find out that Ben Reilly is still a little bit cuckoo in the brains as he's like looking at Peter and MJ on their double date from across the street. Apparently he's still bent on taking Peter's life or something like that. Guys, for all the times I keep mentioning how upset I am at what Marvel has been doing with John Walker over the years, every time I look at Ben Reilly, I'm like, you know what, maybe it's not so bad, So
maybe there's hope. Maybe I'm okay with where we are.
Yeah, I mean, at least with John Walker, they give him a brief recess period. I mean, Ben Riley, though, they just consistently seem to just make him crazy or make him a villain or just do something that fans don't really like.
Let
You know?
Ben Riley be the emo boy of his dreams, please.
Yep.
Give him a break.
Yeah, he's still wearing that Chasm costume, by the way. The one that, dude, I can't even remember the name of that event. The one where he teamed up with the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
Madeline Pryor, love
Oh,
her.
Yeah,
wasn't that Beyond Spider or something like that?
Beyond Spider, something. Who? Dark Web. That's what it was. Something like that. Who can honestly remember that? But anyway, that's the status quo of that. You then go to Doctor Doom. Now he's Sorcerer Supreme. That's the last page really. He's like looking at Spider-Man from his orb, saying Spider-Man will die for them again and again. So says Doom, as Zebwell's run comes to a close. Now keep in mind when the final issue has to be a setup for the next writer's plans, that just shows that, dude, you cannot tell me that that's what your end game was as a writer. That was sad. That was a little pathetic, and of course, the fact that you were writing all the multiple sub stories here in this issue just to tie up whatever loose ends you could. Again, it just showed you were canceled, man. Like as soon as Spider-Man dropped out of the top 10, that was it. Bye bye, Zeb Wells. But there is a kind of like another topic I wanted to bring up with this. It's in regards with the letter page. I know there was a lot of controversy with Nick Lowe and Comic-Con, right? Where one person was asking, yeah, this one's pretty hated, but you seem getting a lot of good letters. Are you sure you're not just writing those yourselves? Like, ooh. Nick Lowe did.
Like, why would you leave?
Yeah. I mean, audience, you've heard of the term review bombing. Well, this is an example of review fluffing. Because you really got to ask yourself, what is the point of a letters page at the end? Not all comics have that. And keep in mind, when it comes to a writer, they're not getting paid extra to be responding to these fan letters.
No.
That's why you don't see them in every comic out there. So you gotta think, what is the purpose? Like when Kelly Thompson was writing Deadpool, one added bit of humor to it was the fact that there was a letters page where Deadpool was answering all fan letters to him, and you would respond to fans in a very Deadpool-like manner, like when I submitted I mean, like, when I submitted a picture of my Deadpool wall, right, and sent it to Marvel, they were able to print it, and Deadpool was able to respond to my letter saying, "Oh, okay, you look like a bit of a stalker there, dude. The only thing
Deadpool called you stalker."
Yeah. I mean, the only thing your wall is missing is my autograph sketched in fecal matter. Like.
I mean, would you accept that though?
Hey, I can honestly, if that were the case, which I can honestly say I have something that no other Deadpool fan will be able to have, So,
Give you that, honestly.
Yeah, but again, that's an example of, like, let's say a letters page, like giving an extra layer of goodness to a book, And here, though, again, a lot of the letters that seem to be submitted were good. Like, let's see, one letter here saying, I like the portrayal of the people's facial expressions in this book. Let's see, another one saying, yeah, I love Amazing. I still love Amazing Spider-Man, even though this kind of feels like not the one I grew up with.
Yeah, that sounds like something that the writer would write, like for fan letters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another one saying, with Zeb Wells as a writer, I think things will be shaken up, right?
We're definitely shaken up, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I would say, I wouldn't say all of these are, like, the one you just read about, like, it's not my Spider-Man. It seems like, I mean, I could see him writing that. It just feels like he just found someone who was, like, there's people online who feel like they have to defend everything, like just because they like it. I guess like that's kind of what I would feel like. I don't really feel like
Oh, here's a good one. Just wanted to drop you all a line to say what a refreshing and enjoyable issue this was.
Oh god.
Look, guys, I think like after Nick Lowe got called out, they have to realize, okay, we actually kind of have to bring in an actual fan letter into the final print. So I'll read what seems like an actual fan letter. Dear Spidey Office, my favorite moment of any superhero book, let alone a Spidey one, is seeing the hero at their best. That no matter the obstacle they find a way to get on top, to stop the villain, or to save someone. The most recent Amazing Spider-Man issue had none of that. Peter had to beg two villains not to do crime because of a date with Shay, who, even after a few botched dates, still deals with him being late. A lot of this run has Peter begging others for help or pleading for villains to stop. When that was never the case with Peter before this run. It's pathetic and disrespectful to the character many love and admire. And as for Shay and other female characters, it's even worse. She's less of a character and more of a prize for Peter's suffering. Same as Felicia.
God.
And MJ is a prize to a man who aided in genocide, who supposedly suffers but just comes off as bored or worse. So when someone...
What was that? What did Paul aid in genocide?
Dude, I completely forgot. It got lost in the ocean at that point, man.
You know how bad your has to be for the readers to forget, genocide happened.
Yeah. So when someone decided to write Peter and Spider-Man as they should be, please let me know, because until then, I'll be reading Ultimate Spider-Man. Sincerely,
way better. Thank you, John. Everyone say thank you, Jonathan Hickman.
Yep. It's unanimously a better book. But again, I think this was a case of like, you ever see that one Simpsons episode where, report cards come in and then like, of course, Bart is like, he's like editing all his grades, and then he brags to Lisa saying, "Ha, read 'em and weep, Lisa, all aces." And Lisa's like, "Oh my God, Bart, couldn't you put believable grades? Come on."
Couldn't you put believable grades?
Yeah, so I guess like
a D?
Yep. I mean, hey, which a D could look like a B so easily after all, Yeah. So I think in this case, like the editorials were like, okay, we kind of have to actually put a real fan letter in here, So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, I've been on and off of this Amazing Spider-Man run. I did notice there was a lot of good letters being sent. I mean, even that whole Death of Kamala issue, right? Some people sending letters and like, oh, that was a great issue, a big impactful moment, this and that. Well, we kind of all know the controversy behind that, So, again, this was a case of review fluffing, audience. Yeah. There's not much of a line to hurdle over for the next run. I mean, Zeb Wells, I don't know how you feel like your run's going to be looked back on, Dan Slott, yes, I know he's had a lot of shakeups and misses, but there were good moments in his runs. He had peaks in his Spider-Man run. Even Nick Spencer, I mean, it was largely I would say 80% well-received book, with the whole Craven story, with the whole Centipede story, with the retconning of a very controversial time in Gwen Stacy's life, this and that, it had golden moments.
It was good because he was doing a lot of the cleanup, so the next writer would have an easier time getting Spider-Man back to where people wanted him to be.
Yep.
So, it's just kind of like, damn, all that for.
This right here. This was just you making your own mess. You know,
you made a bigger mess than when he left.
Exactly. And I kept trying to give Zeb Wells the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, maybe it was a lot of editorial mandate that came up to him to have to force certain pitches into his book, like that whole Kamala thing. There's no way you could convince me that Zeb Wells, on his own accord, wanted to put Kamala in his Spider-Man book. You know, so.
Because it wouldn't be Peter and Kamala. It would be like Miles and Kamala, and maybe like younger Scott and Kamala. It would not be Peter Parker.
Exactly. It just didn't feel natural, so I guess that was like Marvel's like saying, okay,
I saw a tweet about this not too long ago, and I don't remember the exact wording of the tweet, but basically it was like, oh, this feels like a very company mandated friendship. Like, yeah, would they probably be friends? In reality, yeah, but would they have any reason to hang out? No.
Yeah. Could you ever imagine Kamala being friends with Norman Osborn? I know, even though he's good and all. I know, even though Norman Osborn throughout this era was good and all, now that his sins were removed, but still, even then, do you expect them to be buddies? No. Yeah, but the run was
kind of 5 seconds. No, that does not make sense. Like, but like, you know, second chances. I believe in second chances sometimes, but it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Again, that was just an example of editorial forcing something onto Nick Lowe, you know? Oh, sorry, not Nick Lowe, Zeb Wells, you know?
But anyways, take anything out of this, go read Hellions, because that's actually a good Zeb Wells book.
Yeah, and go read Ultimate Spider-Man, audience, you know?
And go read Ultimate Spider-Man, agreed. Yep. I haven't read it, but from what people have been saying, I trust their word.
Let me at least read who was writing these responses? Either Zeb Wells or Nick Lowe, right? Let me read their response to that to the angry letter. All right.
You mean the valid criticism?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for reading and writing in, DK. I'm also reading and enjoying Ultimate Spider-Man.
Did they mention Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, the angry letter was like saying, so, okay, his last sentence was, so when people decide to write Peter and Spider-Man as they should be, please let me know, because until then, I'll be reading Ultimate Spider-Man.
Because, I mean, at least that feels like Peter, for the most part.
Yep. So, yeah, going back to the response, he's like saying, I'm also reading and enjoying Ultimate Spider-Man. Personally, I really like the moment where Peter leveled with villains. Didn't read as begging to me. In Amazing Spider-Man number 55, Preventing Violence for a Change, no one working on the book sees any of the characters as prizes for anyone else, but read it as you will. Yeah, trying to sound like you're a little bit superior or something like that, or
do not diss Jonathan Hickman. You will get.
Could you read to me again? I think you cut out for me.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let me read the last sentence. No one working on the book sees any of the characters as prizes for anyone else, but read it as you will.
That's a standard response for someone like that. So.
I guess they didn't want to fan the flames anymore after after his run was a catastrophe, you know.
Yeah. It was a catastrophe. I feel like we can all agree on that.
Oh yeah. I gave Zeb Wells so much benefit of the doubt, which
you really did. I'm surprised you stuck with this book as you did. I don't know whether to say I'm disappointed or.
Well, I was on and off again, which I stuck around for the Dr. Octopus stuff for obvious reasons. Tried giving Gang War a shot. That was horrible. And tried justifying why they gave Kamala that whole big death of story, So, yeah. Is what it is. But hey, we got a nice variant cover here, audience. One of the few I could say that are justified, Yay. Yay, right, audience? Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's really it for today. I mean, we could say the last book for next week. Oh shoot, we're over an hour and 2.5, over 2 hours and a half already, audience. So
let's not get crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, audience. Thanks for joining us for as long as you did, and yeah, we hope to see you all next time. So, all right. Any final words, guys?
No.
No, we're good.
Okay. All good. All right. We'll see y'all next time, audience. See ya.
Bye. Do, 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 do.